This is a presentation of Fox Sports.
Rockingham, North Carolina is the place to be today. The best drivers in the world competing side by side, wheel to wheel at incredible speeds as Fox Sports welcomes you to our second season of NASCAR. The crowd, the cars, the drivers, all gathering here at the Rock as we get set to drop the green flag, and our crew is on the case, starting with Steve Burns.
Chris, I've met fans from Connecticut and Indiana, but this is a crowd that is a decidedly Tar Heel flavor. Stock car racing was born in the Carolinas, wasn't it? 38 of the 43 teams in this race are headquartered 90 minutes from here. It's a home game for everybody.
This old racetrack is rough as #1 sandpaper. It tears at the tires, causing the drivers and crew chiefs to have to develop special strategy. That makes it really a lot more fun for race fans like me and you.
For the second year in a row, title contender Tony Stewart has to dig his title dreams out of a huge hole after losing an engine at Daytona. He'll start that lofty climb back into the title hunt here at the Rock, a racetrack where he's never won, but a racetrack where he's never finished worse than 12th.
Why would Ward Burton wear the same underwear for 4 straight days? More importantly, why is he telling us? Well, he's still riding that Daytona high. Today, it is back to reality for the 500 winner as he makes his way into Rockingham. We have an interview with him coming up next on the one and only NASCAR on Fox.
Today, Winston Cup Racing returns to Fox Sports. And throughout history, there have been many famous returns. General MacArthur returned to the Philippines. Batman returned, as did Jason. And Michael Myers, over and over again. Porky's and Police Academy had multiple returns. But in the history of classical comebacks, the return of Winston Cup Racing to Fox ranks among the all-time greats.
They're back. Those TV racing people.
Now, NASCAR returns to Fox, faster and more furious than ever before. Welcome to the Singular Pre-Race Show, brought to you by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
More than 75,000 fans pouring into the North Carolina Speedway, known as The Rock, anxious to see their favorite driver race around this homespun grassroots track and located in the Sandhills of North Carolina, about 90 miles east of Charlotte. And making our way to the races, as we always do, from the Hollywood Hotel. We have reopened and are ready for business as we join you.
I found a new place to dwell.
Trackside.
Down at the end of Pit Road, it's Hollywood Hotel. Jeff!
We're
back, baby. We're back, baby. We're at
part
the Rock.
of the act. The gang is all here at DW. Just like he jumped the start, just like that. We're already.
Oh man, I got candy.
All right,
got to go. Taking too
Thanks
long,
for being
man.
with
I
us.
want to get going here. I got to go. The green flag's dropping. Come on.
He's so excited as NASCAR we begin. This is your one-stop shop for racing all the way up until July, and we're anxious to go. So anxious that, and you know, it's already been a wild ride so far, but a dramatic change from Daytona to come here to Rockingham.
Oh, this place. This is the macadam is worn out.
What's that?
Say that again.
I knew y'all didn't know.
What did he do?
Macadam. It's asphalt. The asphalt's worn out.
Okay.
Now that sounds like a problem. What are we going to do about it? Well, it makes for great racing, and that's what I like about this joint. When you're in Daytona, you just ride along in the rocket. You know, you got really no control over your destiny other than just steering through the messes. Here, the drivers are excited. They're glad to be here because they are controlling their destiny.
Right.
You can be the man today.
Right, but as a crew chief, you've already lost control of your driver.
I'm telling you right now, that's the hardest thing about this place right now. You've got to get them settled down and get them to where they can do their jobs. You've got to take care of your tires. Got to take care of your cars.
All right.
Well, you got to have a good pit crew too.
All right. Well, you saw Dick Berggren sitting on the track.
On the macadam.
Right.
The
good news is that Ricky Craven is on the pole and is tied forward. The bad news is the pole sitter here has won only one of the last 18 races at Rockingham. He will try and change that in today's Subway 400. Jeff Gordon, who usually does well here, not happy this weekend, starting 33rd and a little bit frustrated so far. As you see in the background, a cool, crisp, sunny day, ideal conditions for racing, and it's been a surreal start to the NASCAR season already. Kind of
what kind of start?
Yeah, surreal.
Oh, surreal.
It means it's kind of unbelievable. It reminded us of that old Rod Serling show.
He makes it up.
Remember? The signpost up ahead. Your next stop, not Daytona, it's the Sterling Zone. Picture, if you will, a driver, a race, a red flag, a foiled fender, entering a dimension like no other, an uncanny resemblance to the Twilight Zone. All right, stop the booing. All right, hey,
where do you get this?
Sterling Marlin.
Did you write that?
No, I follow the rules here. We're in the Hollywood zone. What was Sterling? It's been the talk of the week. What was Sterling Marlin thinking at Daytona?
Time out.
All right.
Now listen, the guy's pretty smart. Give me a break here. First of all, he passes under the yellow line, gets his old fender all knocked in, comes around, he knows it's rubbing because they come around to take the caution, the thing's smoking. So they stop the cars on the back straightaway. Now they're talking about, well, what are we going to do about him passing under the yellow line? Wait a minute. He hops out of his car. He goes around and looks, and his fender's rubbing on the tire, so he's got to pull it off. I mean, it's a calculated risk.
Isn't it against the rules, though?
No, it's a gray area. It's working the system. It's kind of a gray area. What if they didn't see him?
Right.
No, but everybody was watching.
How much money?
What if he said, I didn't do anything?
How much money was on the line right there?
A lot of money.
A lot of money. If I'd have called him and told him that, he would have crawled out the other side to get to that fender.
So it was a bright move. He really maneuvered himself in the point standings.
Well, he got caught. But what if he didn't? The other side of the coin is what if he didn't get caught? If he'd have got the fender pulled out and they said, okay, don't touch that anymore, get back in your car, he comes around and he doesn't have to pit, he wins the race.
It's a part of what makes racing so much fun, and the benefit from that Sterling Marlin moment helped clear the path for Ward Burton to win the Daytona 500. Burton will start 18th today here at the Rock, one spot better than he started last week, and there he is celebrating Daytona. He won his first ever Winston Cup race here at the Rock, and he's standing by with our Steve Burns. Steve?
Well, Chris, he just came through driver introductions, got a big round of applause from the fans. Now only 28 drivers can call themselves Daytona 500 champions. Champ, has it sunk in yet?
It was a great week for us. Team worked real hard. It was super, but we got a race to do good here at Rockingham today, so we're focused on getting that kite car up front today.
Ward, you went to New York City. You did live television. Tell us about some of the highlights.
Probably the most emotional highlight was going to Ground Zero. That was pretty devastating to see that. Going home, seeing all the support I got at home, that's probably the most special of all.
Still emotional, isn't it?
It is. Thanks.
Good luck today.
All right, thank you very much. Tony Stewart will try and make up a lot of ground today after exiting Daytona a little bit early. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., he'll start 29th today after finishing 29th at Daytona. Little E, not just battling 42 other drivers, he's been battling the flu all week, and we hope that he can get well and get well soon. Earnhardt Jr. hoping to get well because he could be turning things around, just like Tony Stewart hopes to be the first driver since Cale Yarborough in '76 to finish last at the Daytona, but still go on to win the Winston Cup Points Championship. Yeah, it goes back a little bit of an attitude.
I've won more races than he has.
And these are the guys. Look, these were all top 10 guys last year, and look where they're starting out. So Jeff, this is kind of a fresh start, a whole new season today.
It really is for these teams right now. They've got to understand this is just the beginning of what the big picture is. We're always talking about points, and it's never too soon to talk about points, especially when you're behind.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
And we're a little behind on time, so let me move along, Darrell. With Daytona
slow down and go fast
behind us, kind of a funky, exciting season ahead of us. Let's get ready for The Rock.
The Rock! Yeah!
All right, not exactly the rock we had in mind. This is the rock that we met, and of course the winner of this race, his name and script. If you look close, you can see Darrell Waltrip, but we tried to chisel it off.
I put that on there myself.
No, he actually won here. No, and the wrestling for the points race really begins. And here, Ward Burton wins Daytona. He only led for 5 laps. You won here in 81 after leading just 13 laps. How do you do something like that?
Well, I can't hear it. I kept complaining all day long about my car, and I said, hey, man, what? Got down to the end of who's leading the race? Who's leading the race? I need to know who's leading the race.
Let me tell you something right now, folks. He was on the radio. He's doing he's going on and on and on.
Like in the show.
And finally, Junior and I got him to calm down. I said, look, Darrell, be quiet. You're leading the race all of a sudden. Never heard a word out of him until he took the checkered flag.
He was quiet after that. Junior Johnson, of course, referring to. All right, we need you to take us through this track today. What the people will see in today's race.
Let me explain this track to you. See, you're going down into turn 1 right here. Now, you got to get out of the throttle early. You get out way early here because if you drive in hard, you're going to slide up the track just like Junior did. Now, where you got to be careful is off of turn 2 right here. Back in the gas early, in the middle of the corner, you come out there with a lot of speed. You're liable to hit that wall coming off the 2. You're coming down the back here, doing about 170. You start turkey walking up off of turn 4 here.
Turkey walking?
Yeah, turkey walking.
You'll have to explain that later.
Then if you don't turkey walk and you get the wall back here, you start pogoing like this car is.
Pogoing? That's pogoing.
Well, these are all terms that we use every day down in the garage area. Now, I wanted to share it with my friends at home today.
All right, you'll give me the glossary later. Jeff, as a crew chief, what do you tell your driver coming into a race like this, especially coming off Daytona?
Well, let me tell you something right now, Chris. I'm not going out on a limb by myself. I got a buddy up there in the booth, and Larry McReynolds. And Larry, I don't know about you, but I always try to tell my driver, look, those tires are your best friend. Take care of them.
You better believe it, Jeff. I mean, this place, it don't wear the tires out. It just loses grip. And trust me, with that sun up there, they practiced yesterday in cloudy conditions. A lot of head scratching going on this morning. What do? We know the cars are even going to slide more, so it was more on that driver's shoulder to take care of those tires at the beginning of a run.
Yeah, I can hear Frankie Stoddard right now. He'll be talking to Jeff Burton saying, Jeff, float her down in the corner, baby. Back off. Float her down in that corner. Take care of those tires.
It's such a key here. And, this race is known for long green runs, so we know they're going to have to be out there. They can go about 90 laps on fuel. Drivers will be screaming for tires about 30 laps.
All right, time now for our singular wireless You Make the Call. Each week, our guys will try and pick the winner. We're going to keep tabs using the same system they do for Winston Cup points, unless we decide to change. Darrell, you go first.
Well, I'm going to pick Bobby Labonte, but don't tell him because last year he said, quit picking me because every time you pick me, I blow up. So I'm not going to tell you.
All right, Bobby Labonte for Darrell.
Right group of guys, just wrong car. Tony Stewart's going to be the man. He's going to outrun Bobby Labonte. He's going to win the race today, get himself back up in the points.
Joe Gibbs will be happy about all this.
Exactly.
I'm going to go with a driver. I didn't pick a lot last year, but he has 5 wins here. He tested here. He's been fast ever since he unloaded. I'm going to go with Rusty Wallace.
All right, gentlemen, we'll keep an eye on this throughout, and each week you'll be able to see who the experts like. We have a lot more to come here from Rockingham and the Hollywood Hotels. We get closer to the race. We are just, 19 minutes away from waving the green flag.
Any time for him to leave?
Yes. Darrell's got to hustle. Good luck on your ride up to the booth, all right? Hopefully you'll make it safely. All right, thanks, Darrell.
I'm out of here. I'm going to go check out my new ride, and I'll see you later.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Singular Pre-Race Show.
All right, look at this hot rod, baby. Okay, I got me a new ride, baby. Got me a new ride. I'm ready to go racing again, on the road again. Back in,
Whoa, get out of there. This is your ride, DW. Come on.
Oh, man, darn Hammond.
What do you think, Jeff?
I'm telling you right now, you can't teach that boy anything. It's a darn good thing I unhooked the battery.
Yeah, that's right. And the Ford cutout car, Jeff will be using throughout the broadcast. By the way, the new engine rule is in effect for the first time really in this race. And will it have any real effect on what the racing fans see today?
I really don't think so today, Chris. I really believe that most of the guys I talk to, they believe this is just another walk in the park for them. Business as usual here today at Rockingham. 400-miler, that's the reason why.
All right, we want to know what you think. Log on to foxsports.com, powered by Lycos on the internet, and cast your vote. Let us know, do you like the one-engine rule, yes or no? And Jeff and I will get to the results from the Hollywood Hotel later in the broadcast. Time now. Okay, I guess we're going to go out to Steve Burns real quick. All right, let's get down to the track, and Steve Burns is standing by. Steve?
Thanks, Chris. We'll hear about springs and shocks today, but our pole sitter Ricky Craven has a secret weapon. It's a rock.
It's a rock. I guess the cat's out of the bag. I'm a little superstitious, at least when it comes to my little girl Riley. She gave me some good luck charms before Martinsville, and we all know how that turned out. And she came back from a field trip on Thursday and gave me this purple rock for the rock, and so far so good. So we're not going to go against it.
All right, it's taped to the dashboard, Matt Yoakum.
Steve, 1 year ago, Tony Stewart climbed from 36 in points at the Daytona 500 to second at season's end. Smoke 43rd. Back in a similar situation, it probably doesn't give you any more confidence, but it certainly if you won the championship, certainly make it more meaningful.
It takes the pressure off, that's for sure. We got the slowest start you could get to the year without missing the show, I guess. But stuff like that's going to happen, and you hate for it to happen after the kind of week that we had going to Daytona. But Zippy and all these guys in this Home Depot team, I mean, they haven't let it get to them last week. I didn't let it get to me, and I'm pumped up about today. And I tell you what, I'm really proud of our store associates from Home Depot that've been at the Olympics. Derek Parra, Tristan Gale, and Daniel Goyette for winning gold in Salt Lake. It's we're pretty proud of those guys and what they're doing. So we'll see if we can try to get us a goal today.
Stewart starts 19th today, Dick.
Jeff Gordon, on the other hand, starts 33rd. That's the furthest back he has ever started here at Rockingham. How about it? Can you get through this field with the car whole?
Thanks for telling me that. I didn't realize that. Absolutely, you guys did a great job yesterday getting the car ready for the race, and I'm really excited. I think we've got a great car. This is kind of a redemption for us. This place really bit us the last time we were here, and we qualified up front then. So coming from this far back, we just got to keep our nose clean and have some great teamwork and pit stops all day.
All right, good luck. To Jeannie Zelasco.
In his 18-year Cup career, Rusty Wallace has figured out what the rock is cooking. 5 victories here, the most of any active drivers. The secret to your success?
Good handling race cars and pit stops. That's the key thing. And it's going to be the same thing here today. The track's wore out, the tires are good, but the air pressures are low and the motors are strong. And so you got to make sure you get a good handling setup to make these cars stick to the track good.
Now he's ready to go. The 2 car starting from the 8th position.
Yeah, Rusty Wallace with 5 wins, the most of any active driver here at the Rock. Richard Petty, 11 career wins, the most ever. Jeff Hammond, what kind of driver is suited best for this track?
The guy that can understand how to take care of his tires. Float her off in the corner. Take it easy on him, Chris.
For Jeff Hammond, I'm Chris Myers. Mike Joy, DW, and Larry Mack. Up next to call the race, let's take a look at how Darrell, Larry, and Jeff spent their offseason.
Thing's too tight. You got to roll it down in the corner, stay off the brake pedal. You don't want to build the front air pressure up, but you got to get back in that throttle and come up off the corner. I'm a little concerned we got too low a gear, but if you'll get in the throttle a little bit sooner, we'll have plenty of gear in the car. We actually might can take some gear out.
Dad, when are you going back to work again?
Is this Daytona in it?
Come on, let's watch it again. Wait a minute, let me rewind.
Mom, when is Dad going back to work?
Soon, I hope.
Diamond Cut. The jeans with the special diamond-shaped gusset right where it counts.
Nothing gets between me and my diamond cuts.
Welcome to North Carolina Speedway at Rockingham, as NASCAR on Fox is back. Today, round 2 in the 2000 chase for the Winston Cup. Earlier this morning, 7:30 a.m., teams hard at work. Tightening bolts, taking measurements, checking their notes, seeing who's been naughty and who will be nice today. We are set to go for 400 miles in the Subway 400. After the Daytona 500, Ward Burton leads the Winston Cup standings. Elliott Sadler, Jeff Bodine, just the way we finished. Not exactly the top 10 because of lap leading bonus points. Today, starting on the front row from Maine, Ricky Craven. And alongside, Kenny Schrader from Missouri. Let's go trackside for today's opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and kindly remove your hats as the University of North Carolina, Charlotte ROTC presents today's colors. Please welcome Dr. James Royston as he delivers the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, creator of life, sustainer of life, we ask your blessings on us today. Thank you for the sunshine that breathes in our face. And when you bless us in the stands, on the track, and in the pit, we thank you so much for your love and grace. In the name of Christ our Lord, amen.
Please remain standing and join national recording artist Trace Atkins as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Trace Atkins, ladies and gentlemen, great job. And our thanks to the 333rd Fighter Squadron from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base for providing the F-15E Strike Eagles. And now for the most famous words in motorsports, today's Grand Marshal from Subway, Clay Henry.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Ready to race at the Rock, race number 2 in 2002, and most importantly, the first race without the Daytona Talladega rules package of spoilers and restrictor plates. The meat of the season starts here. Hi everyone, I'm Mike Joy alongside Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip. And Larry, the biggest variable today may well be the weather.
Oh, what a crew chief's nightmare. You wake up this morning, you look up there, oh no, not the sun. It was cloudy yesterday. All of that practice yesterday, cloudy, cool condition. Now the sun's out. This racetrack has no grip anyhow. When that sun's out, whatever end of your race car was sliding yesterday, it's going to slide more today. A lot of adjustments made in the garage area this morning.
A great thing about watching a race at Rockingham is when the handling goes away, we can see it, you folks can see it. Darrell, when that happens, how do you carry that car to the next pit stop?
Well, the first thing you do is start whining. you start crying on that radio to that crew chief. Hey, man, how much longer before we pit? Then the other thing that the crew chief has to do is, okay, you're running this lap speed, the leader's running this lap speed, calm down, run your race, we'll fix it when you get in. I can't tell you how important it is to always encourage that driver. You're doing a good job, your lap times are as good as anybody's. When you do that, that kind of takes away some of that worry about how badly the car's handling, and you figure, well, mine is no worse than anybody else's.
This will be a fun race to watch. Let's go trackside. And Matt Yocum.
Mike, Rockingham marks the first race under NASCAR's new one engine per weekend rule. Now, Darrell, Dale and Jeff talked in the pre-race show that Rockingham isn't a bigger concern, let's say maybe the Coca-Cola 600 or even Pocono, but a number of engine builders are not even taking a chance. In fact, Tony Santanicola took the Ganassi team to Charlotte and ran a mock race weekend, 700 miles. They even simulated pit stops to copy the RPM band curve seen during a race. Needless to say, they are cautiously optimistic that Rockingham shouldn't pose any kind of problem, but then again, you never know. To Dick Bergeron.
NASCAR has required the pit road guys to wear helmets, but they haven't told them what kind of helmets to wear. As long as it's a helmet, it's legal. Steve Lignac is a front tire carrier. He's got a hockey helmet. Shane Cook, he's got an off-road motorcycle helmet. Here's a good one. Brian Dunaway, he's got a real racing helmet. Now the boss, David Hill, told me I ought to start thinking about wearing a helmet on pit road too. How about it, David? Is that going to get the job done? Tajini.
The road to the Winston Cup Championship is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And it's not just about winning races. It's about stockpiling those points. And nobody does that better at the Rock than Dale Jarrett. He has more top fives, more top tens. He's led more laps in the last 5 seasons here than any other driver. Starting for the 4th position. He hopes to continue that trend today. Steve?
Well, Jeannie, Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished last here a year ago. He didn't even finish the first lap. To make things worse, on Thursday he became very sick. He has the flu. He went to see the doctor here in the Infield Care Center. So the question is, can Dale Earnhardt Jr. last to the end?
The Bud Pole Award is presented at every NASCAR Winston Cup race, and today Ricky Craven is the award winner. That'll put him in the Bud Shootout of 2003, along with Jimmy Johnson, who won the pole for last Sunday's Daytona 500. So let's have a look at the Walmart starting grid for today's race. There's Craven and Kenny Schrader, who will share the front row today, a Ford and a Pontiac. Johnny Benson, Schrader's teammate, and Dale Jarrett in a Ford. And as you look down through the starting grid, you'll find Darrell's pick back there.
Oh, Bobby Labonte, I'd keep an eye on him.
Kurt Busch, he qualified 7th. Unfortunate situation for those guys. Again, we talk about the one-engine rule. After practice yesterday, they discovered a water leak. The way the rule reads, it's just like a backup car. If you go to a backup motor for whatever reason, you have to drop to the rear of the field. Kurt Busch will take the green flag in 43rd.
As you look at the rest of the starting grid, DW, how about firing up that radio?
Yeah, let me see if I can get a hold of my old buddy from Columbia, Tennessee here. Sterling Marlin, this is DW up in the TV booth. You got a copy, Bud?
I got you, Darrell.
Bud, you got that Dodge up front again this week. How's things looking?
Well, practice, the happy hour went pretty good. We stuck real quick on the start, but it don't seem to fall off much. So practice a little different today. We'll see what we got here in a little bit.
All right, you had a great run in Daytona, and keep them fenders all pushed off them tires today, you hear?
All right, we need you on the back straightaway to help me work on it.
If you're going to work on it, that's where you want to do it, bud. Good luck.
Hey, thank you.
When Sterling says it doesn't fall off much, that's just what we were talking about. The speeds don't fall off as you get many laps into a run on fresh tires.
Yeah, and Larry will tell you, and Jeff, that's a product of your shock package. Shocks here are so critical. Not making those Eagles mad. Trying to keep them on the car and keep them as happy as you can.
3 drivers failed to qualify for today's race. Randy Renfro, Carl Long, and Dick Trickle driving the Dave Marcus number 71. Elliott Sadler's Motorcraft cam. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the Bud cam on board his number 8 Chevy. Michael Waltrip making his 500th Winston Cup career start today. The Napa onboard camera.
Boy, it don't seem like he'd be that old to me.
Jeremy Mayfield, he is carrying the Dodge camera. And Mark Martin with the Pfizer Viagra cam. This will be Robbie Gordon, the Singular Wireless onboard camera. And Rusty Wallace, the Miller Lite onboard cam.
I think Rusty's pretty optimistic, don't you, Larry? He tested well here. He qualified good. He looks like he's ready to get after him.
And again, he talked this morning. I talked to his crew chief, new crew chief, Billy Wilburn, said a lot like Sterling, good on long runs. And what we'll see a lot, the car that's good on long runs, he may not be as quick those first 10 or 15 laps, but a lot is because he's trying to take care of it in the beginning.
Yeah, and you just can't be good on long runs at the very end, though. But you can't let that leader get too far away from you and then try to catch him there at the end. It won't work.
Today we'll go 393 laps to make up the 400 miles. And the pit window, which we usually express in fuel mileage, today, tire mileage.
Yeah, we can go 80 to 90 laps on fuel, but trust me, I don't think. Now, if it was at the end of the race, we may see it, but they're going to be in there between 60, 70 laps. I heard some teams that may stretch it to 80 laps for tires.
Yeah, and I think it just, the race dictates all that. I don't think it, you might try to go 90 laps if the race dictates it. And the pace car, hey guys, the pace car is off.
All right, we are back on Fox.
Here we go, green, 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 go, 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 boogity, 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 boys.
Craven leads off to Schrader, just in qualified order. Benson, Jarrett with a challenge. Inside, Jerry Nadeau.
These guys move up the top of the racetrack. They'll move up there in a hurry. That's what I love about Rockingham. It's not about all around the bottom. You can race up against the wall. You can race in the middle of the racetrack. All kinds of racing grooves.
You'll see the cars on new tires run low. As the tires go away, they'll just start run right up next to that outside wall and actually getting a little rock on the side of it.
A year ago at this race, we started the silent lap 3 to honor Dale Earnhardt. Today we'll do that a final time, a silent third lap in honor of a great hero. We remember Dale Earnhardt and the many great drivers no longer with us. As Ricky Craven has now opened up very, very quickly an 8-car length lead on Ken Schrader.
Well, the talk in the garage that I was hearing was that the 32 car was the car to beat, that he was fast on the get-go, good on long runs, and he had a pretty good hot rod in him today. If I say hot rod and no heap a lot today, that's because I was with John Force for a couple of days, and it's been drilled into my brain.
Steve Burns.
Hey, Daryl, I talked to crew chief Mike Beam on the 32 car this morning, and he said that they weren't that good in practice yesterday, but he wasn't worried about it. They tested down here in January. They ran 400 miles, and he was predicting, and he accurately so, that it would be sunny out today, and that's what he's got.
Sunny once so true. I love you. Or sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy.
Based on his performance a year ago, first top 5 for this Cal Wells team, number 32 team with Ricky Craven. I'm going to say he's normally one of the first cars that will start moving up the racetrack after those tires get some laps on them.
Yeah, you work hard. You would love, ideally, you want your car to work right around the bottom all day long. That's the shortest route around. That's the quickest way. But the tires just will not allow that to happen. The tires dictate what's going to happen to your race car.
Bobby Hamilton may have gotten into Jeff Green here in the 30. Jeff Green slid up the racetrack, and that was very, very close.
It was real close.
It's still close. It'll be close all day. We'll see rubbing all day long.
And that 55 car of Bobby Hamilton, that's actually the car that Joe Nemechek raced to victory here in the fall race. But again, the 33 car, who Mike Wallace is driving for now for Andy Petrie, they were not even going to come here until as late as this past Tuesday. Bobby Hamilton in the 55 brought that car here this weekend.
And they're just all fighting over the same little bit of real estate back there. It's real crowded off turn 2. We saw yesterday in the Busch race, they get a little jukey out of that corner, and buddy, something's got to give.
You see Ward Burton climb the hill. He and Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, several drivers trying that high line already.
And Darryl, what happens, I think, is these tires get some laps on them, it's a little easier on the tires up high. You know, you're not down there making that tight corner at the bottom of the racetrack.
Well, the car's easier to drive up there for sure. And think about it. If all the years we've been racing, we've been running around the bottom, where's the best asphalt?
And that's
around
where
the top.
Jimmy Johnson passed Rusty Wallace. Johnson on the move. Rookie racing to the front.
Racing these rookies we got this year, I tell you, they're exciting. They're going to be great for our sport. Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson. We got us a good little crowd. We got us a good little crop going here.
Nadeau tried the bottom on Sterling Marlin, and Marlin will complete the pass.
But what Nadeau did there in the 25 car is smart. Don't race each other side by side this early in the race, because you're just going to lose ground to the leader when you're racing side by side. Jeff Gordon in that 24 car, he has moved up to 26, so he's gained about 7 positions in about 10 laps. And I talked to Robbie Loomis, his crew chief, very happy with that race car at the end of the final practice. Biggest fear, getting to the front through all of these cars.
Well, when you're qualifying, you have 1 lap. We only got 1 lap, and you can't make many corrections. When you're racing, you got all day to make corrections.
Johnny Benson had a run on Dale Jarrett on the bottom. It didn't pay off, and now Sterling Marlin may take advantage of Benson's number 10.
Sterling and his crowd, they just tickle me to death. I mean, you know, they just go methodically about it every week. They get their car right. You don't hear a whole lot about him, but every week he's right up there fighting for a win.
Speaking of right up there, our leader in turn 4 is right up against the wall. Ricky Craven is really taking the high line, more so at the north end of the speedway than he is here at the south end. But he's way up there.
And it wasn't long ago that we saw him hooking it right around the bottom. So what did we run? We run 12 laps here, 13 laps, and already everybody's searching for a new line.
Jimmy Spencer battles Kenny Wallace and Jeff Green. That's for 9th place.
Kenny Wallace in that 1 car. Remember, this is the team with Steve Park that won this race 1 year ago and had a 2nd place finish here with Kenny in the fall. They have this place figured out.
And racing is a lot of monkey see, monkey do, you know, whether it's on the cars or out here on the racetrack. As soon as somebody moves up like Craven did and starts to pull away a little bit, the crew chiefs are on that radio hollering at them drivers.
When you run that high line, does it abuse the tires less than trying to hold it around the bottom?
Oh, yeah, by all means. I mean, you know, the turn, just think about how much sharper the turn is around the bottom and how much bigger a turn you got, a more sweeping turn around the top. So you're not grinding on that right front quite so hard.
1 car off the pace, it's Spencer in the back straightaway.
Oh, man. Spence doesn't need another bad day. All right, did the car pick back up? I bet he had ignition problems.
In these cars, they normally have 2 ignition system, and there's a switch. When it shuts off, they can flip a switch. It goes to a totally new ignition box. A lot of times another coil, a lot of times even another pickup in the distributor.
We'll update the Jimmy Spencer story when we come back. Ricky Craven leads Kenny Schrader, Dale Jarrett, Sterling Marlin, and Johnny Benson, the front 5, after 15 laps at the Rock on 5s. Welcome back to the Subway 400 at Rockingham on Fox. We're under the first caution of the day. Joe Nemechek spun up in turn 2. The view you see from our Marine Corps copter cam. And that's put us under the caution. It was a single car spin. Didn't appear to be anybody near him.
Yeah, he just bumped he knocked the back left rear corner up in there just a teeny bit, but nothing serious. I think he can continue on. Car was real loose. He just got up there and got... Bad boy just came around on him.
He's up high. He's up high.
Everybody did a good job of missing it.
Got a yellow.
He was outside another car, but there was no contact.
No, I think he just might. That's still a little bit of dirt up there real high off that corner. So if you get too high, coming off the corner, not so much in the center, but coming off.
This is the Travis Carter 2-car team that sponsored by Kmart, which has filed for bankruptcy. They have enough funding to run through today. And Travis Carter and his folks are looking for somebody to put on that car the rest of this season. Steve?
Mike, Ricky Craven came in. They changed 4 tires. The only adjustment, a ½ pound out of the left rear air pressure adjustment. More importantly, they won the race off of pit road. Matt Yoakum.
Steve, Kenny Schrader came in. Not a surprise like everybody else. They took on 4 tires. He will restart from the 2nd position. A little bit tight, no adjustments. On the 88, 1 round of wedge. He was a little bit tight too, to Dick Berggren.
Johnny Benson had a good stop, 14.9. Not particularly pleased with his car. He said it's oscillating a little bit. They adjusted the weight distribution on the car and put 4 tires on it. To Jeannie.
Well, the 41 car, Jimmy Spencer, just happy they weren't the cause for the caution. That problem with the ignition box, guys, it just went out on him. So he switched boxes. Hadn't run enough laps really to adjust anything on the car. He was happy outside of the ignition problem. So they gave him 4 fresh tires and fuel.
Now, here's where I miss Dave Marcus, who retired after the Daytona 500. On this caution, Dave would have stayed on the track, not pitted with every single other car, would have stayed out to lead a lap before he pitted and picked up the 5 bonus points. Why wouldn't one of those drivers in the back do that?
I don't know. I think that's a pretty good plan myself, except that, you know, this pit road is so long, and if you're not pitted on the other side of the start-finish line, that has an effect on everything as well. So I'm not real sure. I can't answer that question.
It starts over in turn 4, all the way down the front stretch, all the way through 1 and 2. You come off pit road. Yeah, the best way to put it, there was 172 tires changed during that caution. All 43 cars changed forward. We're going back to green.
I'd have had you change my spare if I'd have had
Big loser on that round of stops, rookie Jimmy Johnson was running 7th at the time of the caution. He is now 26th.
And that tells me, you know, that either something happened to his crew or they made some sort of major adjustment. Rubber in a spring, rubber out of a spring, something to that effect.
Clean restart at lap 23.
Yeah, you know, no lap cars. Everybody gets into the start of the single file, so it's going to take a lap or two to get them bunched back up.
Joe Nemechek has returned to the track despite that damage to the rear.
Yeah, they did a little, they took a sledgehammer and adjusted on it.
And he's actually still on the lead lap. All 43 cars are still on the lead lap.
He's coming. Come on, come on. Clear low.
That was Tim Overby, Robbie Gordon's spotter for the 31 car.
Bobby Hamilton kicked upstairs there.
Oh, there's your shot, DW.
Yeah,
there's
man.
that aerial view.
I love that shot right there. That tells you everything. It's, if there's contact, what was it?
Like there?
Speaking of contact.
Cars.
That's Mikey.
That's Mikey. Who, did somebody get into him?
The 15 car, Michael Waltrip. But I believe he has a left front fender rubbing him and Bobby Labonte. And the 18 got together.
Damn 18 run up in front of me and I hit him.
Put left sides on it and pull the damage out.
Outside.
I thought Michael was pretty calm considering what happened.
He'll have to pit under green.
Watch it. Well, here's his fender all banged in on Michael's car.
Let's see who moved up.
Yeah, right.
See who moved up in front of Michael.
There they go down into turn 3. This happened down the middle of 3 and 4. Yikes, I don't know, buddy.
See Bobby Labonte moving up. Bobby Hamilton in 55 was right in front of him, and he was moving up. Of course, Michael was trying to go on the outside and just know where to go, but he's going to have to get the pit road to get that fender off that tire.
Another look at it.
All right, we got a little damage here. Clear low.
We mentioned that Jimmy Johnson, as Michael Waltrip comes to pit road, had trouble during that caution flag pit stop and drop back. We'll get an update from Dick Bergeron on that. A look back from Johnny Benson.
And what will kill you on a green flag stop here, Darrell, this pit road is so long, you have to maintain 45 miles an hour. Michael's probably going to be close to 2 laps down when this is all said and done.
That's the only thing about a green. I wish they didn't have a pit road speed under green. I wish you could come down with some, a little more speed so you don't lose so much time.
Well, the leader's coming off turn 4 right now at the start-finish line now. Michael's just now in 1 and 2 on pit road, so he's going to be 2+ laps down.
Yep.
There goes Craven past Michael Waltrip on pit road. Dick Bergeron.
Jimmy Johnson had a bad pit stop. The problem, front tire carrier David Bryant was struck and hit by one of the other cars on pit road. They've got him on a gurney. He is conscious, obviously in pain, and they are taking him to the medical center.
I just think, Mike, Larry, there's just so much pressure on these crews to perform. They got to do 14-second pit stops. I mean, that's reckless abandon at its best. You're just throwing your body out there and just, cars going everywhere. It's a dangerous situation.
And that's the thing I hate about cautions in the early going. As we saw a while ago, all 43 cars on pit road at one time. It's like rush hour in Manhattan.
Rusty Wallace on the move, battling 6th place Johnny Benson. And here comes Ward Burton.
Dirty underwear and all.
About a flat outside. Still 2x2 outside. Behind at 25, you can clear high, clear all around.
Ward Burton started 18th. He's moved up to 7th here, already on lap 31.
And he's hooking that bottom too, Larry.
Bill Davis, he drives for, and Ward, they got their first win here at Rockingham in 1995.
Now he's battling Jarrett. Schrader, right there, 2nd place battle.
That's all, long some laps. Nice and smooth.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Old Ricky Craven, all he's seeing is things in his rearview mirror. He is on the move. These guys here, they're trying to catch him.
Battle for 6.
Sound like they're turning a lot of RPM, Larry. You hear those motors? Man, those things are singing.
Well, the thing here is when you're on fresher tires, you will turn more RPMs because your lap times are quicker. But the front stretch is so much longer than the back stretch, you'll turn about 200 or 300 more RPMs on the front stretch. So the real RPM concern comes on the front stretch, 1 time a lap with fresh tires.
You know, I guarantee you, Rusty's singing his. That's 9,000 if I ever heard it.
Craven the leader, Jarrett, Schrader, Marlin, Jeff Green, then this battle. And let's go back to 10th place, where Kenny Wallace trying to hold off the advances of number 20, Tony Stewart.
And that one car, the Pennzoil car, last year here, both races, was one of the dominating cars. I mean, that was the car to beat both races last year. They've complained, Kenny has, about the balance on that car. He could never get it quite like he's had it in the past.
From Robbie Gordon looking ahead at this battle for 10th.
You talk about balance, that means that either the front's not sticking or the rear's coming around, but the car's just not riding on all 4 tires the way he'd like for it to.
And I think the real key, we got a report a while ago that the track temperature when this race started was 82 degrees. That's over 20-something degrees warmer than yesterday in the cloudy, cool conditions. It was only 59 degrees. And as we talked in the beginning, what will happen in practice, whatever end of your car slide, when that track temperature goes up, normally that end's just going to slide more when it gets hotter and slicker, the racetrack.
So, okay, I'm calling in, I'm saying I'm sliding around more than I was yesterday. What are you going to do about it?
I'm going to probably work a lot on air pressure. You know, try to get that air pressure as low as we can get it to grip the racetrack better.
One of those drivers who is slipping back, Johnny Benson, number 10, who started 3rd and is now back at 13th. Dick?
He's got real problems, Mike. He has called into his crew and told them that he has a potential flat left rear, said the car just isn't driving right. It is all over the place. He had been a hopeful to win today. Right now, Benson needs a caution to come in and fix that thing.
The car looks awful loose. I noticed on the first lap, he went into turn 3, the back end whipped out on the thing. So he's been loose from the get-go.
Well, and if you have a flat left rear tire, because the air pressure's down in it, it's like opening up the rear spring split, and that will make that race car loose.
Well, he's definitely got a loose condition.
And what he's hoping to do, he wants a caution flag. He don't want to come to pit road like Michael Waltrip had to and lose 2 laps. He's wanting that caution flag to come out.
Only one car in the garage, Stacy Compton in A.J. Foyt's Pontiac. Ricky Craven is our leader. Dale Jarrett, Kenny Schrader, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Green, the top 5. Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace, Matt Kenseth has fought his way from 25th up to 8th. Jerry Nadeau and Tony Stewart round out the top 10 in the Subway 400 on Fox.
The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by Subway. Subway runs on fresh-made taste. Subway, eat fresh. By Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. By Napa Auto Parts. Napa, we keep America running. And by Ford Truck. The official truck of NASCAR is built Ford Tough.
Ricky Craven leads Dale Jarrett by 1.5 seconds. Jeff Green has moved up into the 3rd position, and Matt Kenseth, who started 25th, has now climbed up to 7th. Quite a run. Craven, though, has been unchallenged since they dropped the green flag. Steve?
Hey, Mike, you guys keep a look for lap number 81. That's because Mike Beam knows that if they run 63 laps under green flag conditions, that's when their tires really starting to go away. They tested, as I said, here in January. They got tires after the caution on lap 18. So watch lap number 81 to see if he starts slowing down any.
It's 1.3 seconds back to Jarrett, then Green, then Ward Burton, 2.5 seconds off the leader. They've passed Kenny Schrader, who sits 5th.
You know, this type of racetrack, Daryl, ever since Ward Burton started running Winston Cup, a track where you have to finesse the race car. It seems like it's always suited Ward's style.
Yeah, and he's he doesn't impress me as being that kind of driver, you know. I mean, he's pretty aggressive. He's usually up on the wheel pretty hard and smatting that throttle pretty hard, but these slick racetracks, he's got something figured out.
But on our Fox tracks, we saw him eating into Ricky Craven's lead. Low point, 122 miles an hour in the middle of the corner.
Well, there's nothing like a win. The next week, I mean, you go in there with your chest all poked out, And Ward's a pretty small guy, but I guarantee he's 9 foot tall and bulletproof here. You know, seeing these cars run right up next to that wall always reminds me of Richard Petty. Richard would ride up next to that wall. I'd always say, Richard, why you ride so close to that wall? He said, well, if something happens, I don't have somewhere to go to hit it. Well, that made a lot of sense to me. I thought about it a while and I said, but don't you hit it more? Don't you hit it more often?
Now, Jeff Green, who is one of those cars on the move, you see his speeds relative to Ward.
And he has been on the move. He started back in 15th. Now, again, I think this could be product of running the Busch Grand National race yesterday. He dominated the first part of that race. They made a slight adjustment. I talked to Todd Berry, his crew chief, this morning. He said, Larry, we made one slight adjustment on that race car and jumped the fence. I have to believe they learned from yesterday, and I believe Genie Zelasco can add more.
Yeah, they're keeping that adjustment top secret because right now he's one of the fastest cars out on the track right now. His crew chief Todd Berry reminding him of that. Sure, yesterday's Busch race helped, but keep in mind, guys, in his last 5 Busch starts here, he scored a win, 3 top 5s, and 5 top 10s. Believe it or not, though, Green is saying that the car is a little too tight coming off the corner, so we have that adjustment to look forward to. Matt?
Genie, in the second practice session Saturday afternoon, Kenny Wallace was not happy with the 1 car. They were tight. They made a track bar adjustment and a front sway bar adjustment. They felt like they hit upon something. They felt like today they would be really good, but guess what? They are tight again. He has gone way to the high side trying to help that car on exit. As Steve Park tested earlier this week, a 4-car test with Dale Jr., Kenny Wallace, Michael Waltrip, and Park in Charlotte. They felt like the test went very well. They are still unsure, though, when his comeback will take place, but he's watching that 1 car, hoping they can keep that streak alive here at the Rocca, finishing 2nd or better.
Wallace in 12th place. Fighting the car up the hill. Bobby Labonte behind him. And Johnny Benson's dropped to 14th. Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Gordon. Jeff Hammond?
Yeah, Mike George, we're always talking about tires and how they really affect the cars at this racetrack. We started this race, and that's Ricky Craven leading the race. He ran the first lap at a 24.368. Believe it or not, after 25 laps, he slowed down a 1.5 seconds. And the differential between qualifying speeds and race speeds are over 10 miles an hour.
Wow. Well, if this long run of Green lapping has begun, and there may be a problem with Jeremy Mayfield, Dick.
Yeah, maybe a little deja vu, Mike. Remember back in the fall of year 2000, Mayfield led 169 laps before his engine started to miss. His engine started to miss again today. Mayfield, engine trouble.
See, that's the thing that you got to worry about on this 1-engine rule is most of the teams changed valve springs yesterday afternoon after the last practice, and that's something, if there's going to be a problem with these engines, it'll be in the valve train. Rocker arm, valve spring, something to that effect.
All right, you see that we're looking at Jeremy Mayfield's now. We're looking at the miles per hour, looking at the tack right there. See the low and high RPMs right there. Almost to 9,000 right there.
If it's missing, it isn't missing much because it wouldn't, you know, it's still turning good RPM. He's got good speed.
About 6,000 in the middle of 1 and 2. Now this is down the backstretch. Remember, it's a shorter. See, about 8,700. Again, about 200 or 300 RPMs less. Let's see what it falls down to right there. Don't fall down as much in 3 and 4 because you didn't go as high in 3 at the end of the backstretch.
Yeah, well, 3 and 4 is a little bit sweep, you know, bigger turn. It's more of the D's part of the track.
You can pick up the throttle sooner in 3 and 4.
Much quicker, yeah. You got more room to run up off the corner.
Jeff Gordon battling there, who started 33rd, the lowest he's ever started at Rockingham, fighting for 15th place. Let's go up to 2nd place, Jeff Green, now less than a second behind Ricky Craven. And here's Robbie Gordon with Jerry Nadeau, moving past Buckshot Jones, who's gone a lap down. And they're fighting for 10th place. Up front, Craven's lead is disappearing. It is now down to 0.8 of a second. There's Green, the AOL car, and he's got a mirror full of Ward Burton.
He sure does. That cat car is looking mighty racy today, guys. It looks Looks like they got the good long run setup up under it. He's coming forward all the time. Now, if Green's smart, he'll move over and let Ward go. Ward is chasing him down. He's caught him. This isn't any time to be racing somebody. Follow him. See if you can learn something.
If he caught you, there's a reason.
That's exactly
He's
right.
much faster than you are.
And all you do is, you know, you get aggravated. The guy behind gets aggravated because the guy won't move over. You don't have a lot of options here. Even though the track's big, you don't have a lot of options for passing. So he needs to let Ward go and then follow him. And they'll both catch Ricky Craven.
Passing Ward's teammate, Hud Strickland. And let's have a look at the relative speeds of Jeff Green and Ward Burton.
Like down to about 115, 116 miles an hour in the middle of 1 and 2. This is coming down the backstretch. Green just a little bit quicker into the backstretch.
And we'll freeze it at our speed trap as they enter the corner. So at the same exact point,
Jeff Green's miles per hour a lot lower in 1 and 2 as he came up on the 4 car of Mike Skinner. Right there, you see it right there. This is at the end of the backstretch. Jeff Green about 2 miles an hour faster than Ward Burton going into turn 3.
And as and even though you're faster going into that corner, that may not be a plus. You can drive in the corner so hard that you lose time, actually.
Jeff Gordon, who had a good last practice yesterday, moving past Johnny Benson. That's for 14.
He had a great last practice. He had a terrible first practice. The car looked terrible. He went up and hit the wall. But I talked to Robbie Loomis. They tested here. And he said, Larry, he said, we tried to go back to our testing notes. He said this racetrack was so different. They tried to go back to the notes from a year ago with this same tire that Goodyear has here. He said, Larry, the car was just way too loose. We had to completely adjust that setup.
Wow. And Rusty Wallace told me the same thing. He came here and tested, and when he showed up, his car was so loose he couldn't drive it.
And I stand corrected. Jeff Gordon himself did not test here, but the car he partially owns, Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, tested his setup from a year ago and was very happy with that package.
That's the best test you can have when somebody else does it for you.
Ricky Craven at 66 laps, our leader by 1.1 seconds now. It's stabilized over Jeff Green. Ward Burton is third and Dale Jarrett fourth in the Subway 400 on Fox.
Welcome back live, the Subway 400 at the Rock in Rockingham, North Carolina. Ricky Craven on the pole, and he has led all the way. We've had one caution. The winner of the race back in November, Joe Nemechek with a spin out on lap 18. Another full weekend of racing across the Fox networks when we hit Las Vegas. Saturday, the Busch Series. Another Winston Cup practice, the happy hour, that's on FX. And on Sunday, NASCAR this morning on Fox Sports Net. The Chrysler 400, that's 3 o'clock Eastern. Note the start time, noon Pacific on Fox and NASCAR Victory Lane to wrap everything up for you. And that, of course, on Fox Sports Net with Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers in the Hollywood Hotel. Other than the guys on the lead pack, what's catching your eye, Jeff?
Well, the fact that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is still struggling, already a lap down, as well as Kevin Harvick. I really expected him to come in here and run well, but he struggled all day and has already found himself a lap down.
And Dale Jarrett running fourth has had 12 straight top 10 finishes here in Rockingham. Let's get back up to Mike, Darrell, and Larry.
Several drivers we expected to be contenders not having the best day. Mark Martin among them.
Mark started back in 17th position, and he's fallen all the way back to 30th. He's already a lap down. And like Jeff Hammond mentioned, Dale Earnhardt Jr. sick this morning, not feeling good, car not driving good, and he's about a second and a half to 2 seconds actually from going a lap down.
Boys, there's something bad wrong when Mark Martin is not a factor at Rockingham. There's something upside down in that whole deal right there.
There's Jarrett, the fourth place car, going past Mark, who's just riding around the bottom of the racetrack.
He's just out there, that's all. And that's just not Mark Martin. There's something, you know, I know he can't be very happy.
And there's the second place battle, Jeff Green.
This has been a battle for a while.
Yes. Let's update you on Jimmy Johnson's pit crew member who was injured on that stop. David Bryant, the front tire carrier, has been taken to the hospital in Rockingham to x-ray his right leg, which was injured in that pit stop.
Jimmy Spencer in the 41 car, he's on pit road. Looks like probably a routine stop. It's been about 60 laps since these cars were on pit road. This is about 10 short of what we thought a lot of them would run. But Darrell, the deal here, once those leaders start coming to pit road, you can't be far behind them, because if you do, you're going to be giving up 2 to 3 seconds a lap when you're looking at fresh tires versus 70 or 80 lap tires.
You're going to accomplish 2 things when you come in and get tires. You're going to shut that driver up, and you're going to make that car happy for a little while.
If I was going to shut my driver up, I'd just come every 10 laps.
Or turn the radio off.
Let's listen to what we picked up on Ward Burton's radio a few minutes ago.
Take it easy on the right front, buddy. We got a long day here. Be easy on the tires. Doing a good job, little buddy. Everything's A-okay, man.
Pump that driver up, DW.
Well, that's what it's all about, particularly in a situation like this. The track's slick. It's hot out there this afternoon, believe it or not, and that has an effect. These guys haven't had, you know, they went to Daytona, it was cool. That's easy racing. This is a day's work right here. This is a man's job right here.
Back when this was a 500-mile race, in 1973, David Pearson led 491 of the 492 laps, but he still had to hold off Cale Yarborough at the flag to win it.
Oh yeah, this racetrack has always been the kind of racetrack that sets up, just like we had here last year, dramatic finishes.
But the characteristics of this race is exactly what's happening right now. You'll get a caution or two in the beginning, and it's like you'll go a long period of time with long green runs. Everybody settles down and finds their groove and just watches the laps unwind.
Right now, this is when the communication between the driver and the crew chief has to be at a premium. That driver's got to tell the crew chief all day long what's going on.
Pit stops beginning. We'll be back to cover them after this.
The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by Subway. Subway runs on fresh-made taste. Subway, eat fresh.
Ricky Craven now leads Ward Burton by 1.4 seconds. Jeff Green has dropped to third. And Darrell, this looks like a very difficult part of the race for a driver when some of the drivers running in the back suddenly have fresh tires and they're rocketing past the leaders who are trying to stretch their tire mileage. There's a huge speed disparity here.
Oh, there is, and I tell you, when the spotter's trying to help you and you're looking in the mirror and you want to get out of the guy's way, you'll try to get out of his way, and sometimes it ends up in disaster because he's going so much faster than you are that if you make any kind of, that's why we tell guys, oh, hold your line. Whatever line you're running, hold that line. That leader or that faster car will get by you.
And what's going on here, the guys that already have went a lap down, you know, Buckshot Jones, Rick Mast, Mike Skinner, a lot of these guys, Kevin Harvick in particular, what they're doing, they're pitting early, hoping that it will cycle through the green flag stops. Everybody will pit, and then they'll be ahead of the leader, get their lap back because of the fresher tires, and they'll get a caution, make their lap up.
None of the leaders have yet pitted. Here's Elliott Sadler for the Wood Brothers on pit road. But let's get an update on the leaders' pit strategy. Steve?
Mike, as I said earlier, crew chief Mike Beam knows that those tires drop off after 63 laps. After 30 laps on that set of tires, he ran a 25.78. After 63 laps, his breaking point, he ran a 26.46. Now, when they do come in, they're talking about making a track bar adjustment. To Matt Yoder.
Has faded to 6. He's complaining like several drivers down in my end of the pit area that his car is tight in the center of the corner. He and crew chief Newmore are talking about what changes to make. Right now they're looking at air pressure changes today.
Well, there's a lot of activity here in Jeff Gordon's pit. He has passed nearly 20 cars since the drop of the green flag this afternoon. And the word that we keep hearing in his conversations with crew chief Robbie Loomis, tires, tires, tires. That's what they're looking for.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick a car that's already pitted. I'm going to pick Jeff Burton. He's out there. He's been out there 3 or 4 laps. He just ran a 25.16. Ricky Craven, leading the race, is running 26.75. That's over a second and a half a lap. That's a lot of real estate in a short time.
Sterling Marlin makes a bid for second.
We got us a heck of a race. These guys pit if they want to. We got us a heck of a race going on here for the lead. You got Ward and Sterling and Craven there, and they're just fighting like cats and dogs trying to get the lead away from Craven.
And what's happened, Ricky Craven, he's getting into this lap traffic. He's been out there about 70-something laps on these tires sliding around. It's hard to maneuver your race car around lap cars when your car's sliding around.
But Craven is still, I mean, he goes high, he goes low. He's still got the best car, but these guys, Ward Burton is after him, boys.
And this is when you drive that race car as much with that throttle pedal as you do that steering wheel.
Now, who could be the spoiler right there? Todd Bodine. He's flying up through that pack because he has fresh tires. There's Todd. He has already made his stop in that 66. He's going to go right under Ward because he's got more grip.
And that spotter, that crew chief, they said, there's your leader, get by him. Let's get one of those laps back right now here under green.
Yeah, you pit early, then what you try to do is cut your losses. You get back out there and try to get back to the head of the leader if you possibly can.
Those fresh tires, they make you look like Superman.
Here's the first of the top 20 to pit, John Andretti, coming onto pit road.
Look at that. Look at the difference in the speed.
And where the real speed difference is down in the center of the corner, the low speed, because you're able to pick up the throttle so much sooner and stay in that throttle off the corner.
Here comes Gordon on pit road finally.
14th place. He climbed from 33rd to 14th. Let's go to Jeff's pit.
Gordon is in his pit area right now. This is the same crew you watched do such a good job last year, with a single exception of the jack man. Jeff Cook is the new jack man. Chris Anderson, who had been jacking this car, has moved to Jimmy Johnson's team. These guys are very experienced together, very smooth, and they just pulled off another nice pit stop.
And buddy, that'll show up on the racetrack too. You make up time in that pit, you can make up seconds in the pit. You can only make up a few hundredths on the track. So the crews have got to be fast.
Now that Gordon has stopped, will these other lead teams be watching Jeff Gordon's stopwatch and see how much they're losing to him on worn tires?
Well, I think what they'll do, since he was working his way forward, he was still way back. What really is the key is those top 5 or 6 cars, Craven, Burton, Marlin, Jarrett, Jeff Green. They're the ones everybody's watching. When one of those cars come to pit road, the rest of them will start to follow. You don't get that worried about someone that's back in the field a little bit.
Comes Rusty down pit road. He's just now diving on.
Rusty Wallace gives up 9th place to make his pit stop.
One down everywhere but the right rear. Start finish line. Catch pit. Right here, right here.
And crew chief Billy Wilbur goes to work on the right front. They reminded Rusty about the RPM, the pit road speed. He actually writes it on the tachometer with a Sharpie inside the race car. They're going to adjust this car with air pressure. Rusty, like a number of drivers, was still very tight in the center of the corner as the Blue Deuce pulls away.
Okay, what they did right there, you heard Billy Wilbur tell Rusty, we're going to go 1 pound down of air all the way around except the right rear. Why? Because he's tight. More air pressure in the right rear will help the car to turn. Jeannie Zalaska.
Well, 30 car of Jeff Green a little too tight on the corner. We heard that several laps ago. So the air pressure adjustments in the tires. He is getting 4 of them. Jeff Green, of course, this is a new team. He says this crew has been together a while in the Busch Series. This is a new experience now in the Cup.
Robbie Gordon's in, as is Dave Blaney, the yellow car. And there's Gordon's crew. No relation to Jeff Gordon.
Oh yeah, they're kin.
We have to point that out once a season.
They're kin. No, they got to be as close as they get. They're really close. They get really close to each other all the time.
Guys, I'm so glad Dick Bergman talked about it at the beginning. All these guys on the crew across the wall, even the NASCAR official wearing that safety helmet. After the situation with Robert Yates Racing at Homestead, NASCAR immediately reacted, put everybody on pit road in safety helmets.
Matt Kenseth's crew at the ready. Ken Schrader is on pit road. So's Michael Waltrip, who's 2 laps down. Now watch as Schrader goes around. He's pitting on the curve, where it's a little tougher to find your pit stall around that curve, but he's got it. Matt's there.
And Big Tim Goat pumps on that jack to raise up the right side of Kenny Schrader's car. They made an air pressure adjustment in the right front. He was very tight in the center of the corner as Goat comes around to the left side. The luck's on. Kenny Schrader trying to end a long winless streak. 340 starts since he won at Dover.
Tim Goat, the jackman on that car, former NFL lineman, says nothing gave him the adrenaline push of football till he picked up one of these jacks, got out on pit road.
Hey, Larry, Mike, these guys wearing these helmets reminds me of me and Hammond. One time we were running so bad we came down pit road, they all had bags over their heads.
Tony Stewart in the 20 car, he comes to pit road to the attention of Greg Cimpadelli and that crew.
Stewart was 7th. Matt Kenseth, who was 6th, is also in. Dick Berggren.
Hens is going to take 4 tires, as has everybody else. He's fortunate in that Robbie Gordon is out of his way, and so is the 15 of Michael Waltrip, so he had a clean pit. What they are worried about here, lug studs. Yesterday on the Busch car, they snapped 2 of them. To Matt, to Steve.
Well, Dick, Tony Stewart said he wants more forward bite on that Pontiac. Mike Lingerfeld on the front tires, Randy Cox on the rear. Make a chassis adjustment to the right rear to correct that forward bite. Let's go to Matt.
And Dale Jarrett's already in for service. Mike Trower already around on the left side, making an air pressure adjustment on the 88 car of Jarrett. He was loose up off the corner to Steve Burns.
Matt, Ricky Craven's going to make his stop. He stopped on lap 18. They're talking about making a track bar adjustment on that 32. That's what Mike Beam wants to do. Car is up in the air. Jim Carbon on the front tires. Darrell Lockyer on the rear. There's the track bar adjustment on the 32. They come to the left side. Eric Wilson is the jack man. Chris Williams is the gas man. Left side tires on. Good stop for Ricky Craven. Let's go to Matt.
Steve, a wedge adjustment on the 1 car of Kenny Wallace. Remember we told you earlier that he was fighting a tight condition as Kelly Kellis gets the lugs on the left front. To Steve.
Daytona 500 champion Ward Burton in, Matt. Right side tires are on. Now they go to the left side. Haven't seen any chassis adjustment to that number 22 Dodge. 4 tires on and Ward back on the racetrack.
The last lap by, Ward Burton in turn 2 almost went to Hamlin.
Oh, no,
he came to the pits that time.
He's going to wear, I believe he'll wear the right side sidewalls out on his tires before he wears the tread off of them.
Here's Bobby Labonte getting 4 tires and fuel.
You know, last year here, Craven had a great car, and he never, his pit crew was not up to speed last year. And I tell you, that wasn't all that an impressive stop. I didn't think 17 seconds, Larry.
Sterling Marlin in the 40 car, he gets his 4 tires, as well as Ricky Rudd in the 28 car. He came to pit road.
And Marlin has now led the race.
And that's 5 points. 1 lap is 5 points.
Ricky Rudd's crew.
And you have to be aware of that. You've got to think about that. How can I get that bonus? How can I get that 5 points? That's easy to do a lot of times.
But it's so tough here under green to stay out there saying, have I led yet? Have I led a lap yet? And there's the man right now that's on top, Jeff Green in that 30 car. But remember, he was one of the first cars to come to pit road of the lead group. He got advantage of those fresh tires 4 or 5 laps before Ricky Craven and Ward Burton.
Well, and I tell you, it showed they had a great stop. And it shows up on the racetrack. Once it all cycles out, you can see who had the best in and out and who had the best pit stop.
29 cars on the lead lap, only 1 caution flag so far, and Jeff Green has assumed the lead in the Subway 400 on Fox. Working lap 115 of the Subway 400 on Fox. Jeff Green with a 1-second lead over Dale Jarrett, Jerry Nadeau, and Ricky Craven battling for 3rd, about 4.5 seconds off the lead, and Ward Burton.
Woo, Ward
has walloped the wall.
Tell you, pancaked it. I think that's one of your favorite
yes,
words.
Yes, it is.
Pancake that bad boy.
Ouch. Hate to see it, but
yeah.
Just run out of racetrack.
That's a pretty good. Well, he's been riding right. I mean, he's been rim riding, and I just thought it was because his tires had gone away, but I think he carried it in there. How about it, Burns? What are they saying?
ADW down in their pits and asked the crew, and they said that they didn't make any adjustments on that last pit stop, but when Ward got back on the racetrack, he commented that the tire pressure, he felt like the tire pressure was too low. That might have been the problem.
It could have been, and boy, I tell you what, when you first get out there on those tires and they've adjusted air down real low, compensate for this hot track, car doesn't drive the same for a while.
And his car had that low air pressure look. It looked like he had the wheels turned, but it just was not turning.
Right, it just kind of wobbled on in there and hit the wall. That's what, when you got the air down to about 12, 14, 15 pounds, what they can get away with here on the left sides and probably 25, 26 on the rights, it's like driving with flat tires till that air builds up.
Jeff Green just hung it out. You could read the whole right side of his car as he worked around Ricky Rudd.
What Ricky Rudd's trying to do right here, he's trying to get back on that lead lap. He's a lap down in that little bit right there.
And I tell you, Jeff Green is going to drive, he's going to be somebody to contend with all year long because he wants to prove he belongs in Winston Cup. You know, he got here once, had to go back and regroup, do the Busch deal, win the championship. He's back again, and this is his best opportunity to capitalize.
When he's not in traffic, we see here on our Sport Vision the Fox tracks where he's actually pulling away a little bit from Dale Jarrett.
Well, Jarrett was good early in the race. You know, he started up there. He chased down Craven and them and got within a couple of car lengths of them, and then he kind of faded. So it looks like his car might be good on the short haul, maybe not so good on the long haul.
You know, I heard after a lot of those pit stops, the adjustments that the teams were having to make is the drivers were complaining about the car being too tight. And that's such a characteristic of Rockingham. As more and more rubber gets laid on this racetrack, the cars turn less and less and less.
4 seconds behind you.
But you take drivers.
Being smooth, you're doing a good job.
You take drivers like Dale Jarrett, Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd, Bobby Labonte. Those are guys that you would anticipate and expect, and Jeff Gordon included, to run well here because they're smooth drivers. They ease the car into the turn. You never see their cars out of shape, and they squeeze that gas pedal down just like it's got a big old egg under it.
All right, let's get a recap, Darrell, on pit stops, beginning with Jeannie.
Well, it is all about tires at Rockingham, Mike, and it's number 30 pit stop of Jeff Green, about the Goodyears as well. Matt Kruder, the rear tire carrier, actually fell coming around the car, and they still had a great stop, just tire pressure adjustments. When we talk about the changes in safety, putting helmets on the crew going over the wall, the gentleman holding the sign pole, Greg Tester, took the back of the pole into the head. As I mentioned, this is a new crew for Jeff Green when it comes to the Winston Cup. These guys are going all out. Matt?
Jeannie, Bobby Labonte has fallen to the 27th position. Earlier in the race, Labonte reported in that the 18 car was extremely tight. But Jimmy Maycar's crew chief told him, don't worry about it. Think back to the last 2 spring races here. That's exactly how we started the race. And just be patient. We worked on it, and we got the car better. They finished second and first. Labonte now says, after some adjustments, the car is snappy loose. They made a track bar adjustment on the last stop, guys.
Bobby Labonte's only running about a second ahead of the race leader.
Race leaders. We have a battle for the lead up there with Jeff Green and Dale Jarrett, that 88 car.
Still outside. All clear.
Sails it in there, trying to get under Jeff Green.
Well, they do. They really carry a lot of speed. Once they can run up the hill like that, then let it go all the way to the wall. They carry a lot of speed.
But we saw, talk about speed, Dale Jarrett was 1 mile an hour faster than our leader, Jeff Green, right now. He caught him in a hurry.
And you do that with no brake. You back off the throttle and just let the car sail up to the top of the track. And when it gets up there just about ready to hit that wall, you gas it. And that's what keeps it off the wall.
But look, these guys are running 2 distinct different grooves. Jeff Green up against the wall. Dale Jarrett about the middle of the racetrack right there. Looks like Jeff Green, he's going to be caught behind the lap traffic of his teammate Kevin Harvick, the 29 car. Goes around him on the high side.
Old cagey veteran like Dale Jarrett, if you're going to run high, I'll take the low side. If you want to run low, I'll take the high side.
All right, we're going to look at Dale Jarrett. We're going to look at his RPMs and his miles per hour right here.
You want to see a guy come, watch this 7 car behind him on new tires.
See the RPM sweep? Just about 6,800 low RPMs all the way up there. Little fresher tires, a little over 9,000 RPMs. Back down to 6,300. And again, that's down in turn 1 and 2. We talked about it earlier. Off the throttle longer.
Smooth.
Not as many RPMs on the backstretch, Darrell, because as we say, it's shorter distance.
Little Casey at that 7 car, he's got a little bit better tires, and he's looking for a way by those boys.
Dale Jarrett has now led 9 of the last 13 races at Rockingham. Puts a Ford up front. Dale Jarrett leads Jeff Green, Ricky Craven, Sterling Marlin, and Ward Burton in the Subway 400.
The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
Welcome back to Rockingham. Mike Joy with Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds. We're about 1/3 distance in the Subway 400. Dale Jarrett, Jeff Green, Ricky Craven. The top 3 still about 29 cars on the lead lap here at Rockingham.
But they're picking off some of those cars. Just some of them are just hanging on to the lead lap right now. Bobby Labonte, one of them.
Look from our core cam at the D-shaped front straightaway and that entry into turn 1 as Dale Jarrett tries to put Labonte a lap down.
I believe that's your man,
I think he might be right. Every time I pick him, it doesn't seem like he runs very good. I gotta quit picking on that poor guy.
It's only
You're the best car on the racetrack. Just run your race.
It's early yet.
You heard the voice right there. That's not Todd Parrott. Remember, Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Elledge now his crew chief. Todd Parrott moving to general manager, telling Dale Jarrett, be smooth, be smooth. 2 key words here.
And, oh, look out here.
Everybody go for the hole.
That won't work. 4 wide will not work at Rockingham. We have a lot of grooves, but not 4 wide.
That's when you hear 3 wide, 4 wide, caution. You okay? Hey, let me ask you this. Jimmy Eldridge, he's crew chief off of the winning car here last year, isn't he?
Well, off the winning group.
Team, that's right.
Yeah, Bobby Hamilton, he came from the 55 car.
He might know something.
Never know.
For more, here's Matt.
Well, DW, what he knows is the fact that he brought his qualifying setup because DJ has struggled here a little bit in qualifying, so they put the 55's qualifying setup under the 88. Remember, he was 37th in practice, ended up qualifying 4th, but they're back the old tried and true 88 race setup. They felt like it was very stout in happy hour. They tried one thing just to A-B, and they went back to their original setup. Felt like they had a good car for today.
Jeff Gordon battling his Hendrick teammate Jerry Nadeau for 11th place with Bobby Hamilton and John Andretti right there.
That's when you see those crew chiefs walking around with those briefcases. That's what they got all tucked away in there, is those good notes.
I want to give a call to John Andretti, the 43 car. It started back in 35th position, and he's up here battling now Jerry Nadeau. This will be for the 12th position. They came here and tested, was very happy with their test. He was fastest in practice yesterday, but Greg Stedman told me, Larry, we were a victim of overdriving the race car Friday in qualifying. It will not work here.
More on the car right behind Andretti. Here's Dick.
The 25 car, Jerry Nadeau, has been dropping steadily since the last round of pit stops, Mike. They tried to put more bite in it for him to try to tighten the car up. Unfortunately, he said that just didn't make any difference. The car is just loose. It is a handful. Meanwhile, Darrell, bad news on your brother Mikey. Not only is he running in the back, when he came down pit road a while back, he was pushing water. Steve Beal said it's not running hot, but when he runs it slow, water's coming out. Not a good sign. This Steve.
Well, Dick Sterling Marlin pitted on lap 106. They changed 4 tires, dropped the air pressure ½ a pound in all 4 tires. Team manager Tony Glover telling Sterling, hey, just be patient. You're the fastest car on the racetrack right now, and the lap times back that up.
That's true, Steve. Right now, he is the only car under 26 seconds per lap.
Let's look at Sterling Marlin's. We look at everybody's miles per hour and tachometer. Here you see falls down to about 6,400. 6,300. Coming down the backstretch right here. Over 150 miles an hour. Shorter backstretch, about 87, 8,800. You see the interval, it's shrinking just a little bit, ever so slightly. But he's right here in lap traffic, which certainly hurts his chances right now of making big gains.
When that tack's falling down that much, just think about it. They qualified 156 miles an hour here. And you're racing at probably around 150 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour slower.
Second place battle, Ricky Craven back on the move.
TIDE.
Now he has fresher tires than Jeff Green by several laps.
Going into 1, watch for smoke, clear high.
88.
Trouble on the leader, Dale Jarrett.
One outside.
Is up in smoke.
Caution is on the speedway.
Clear low.
She blew up. Just heard him say something happened to it.
There you see, no RPMs, no miles per hour. I believe his day is over.
Yep. Some of the big team's biggest fears is just struck.
Got oil pressure and everything, but it's vibrating.
See the smoke coming through there. That's where the shifter boot is right there, and a lot of smoke coming out the back of that car. He said he has oil pressure, but he said it was vibrating, and that's not a good sign.
No, it's broken something inside the engine. It could be any number of things. I'm not going to speculate because I got in trouble doing that. I'm just going to say something inside the engine broke.
You'll get another letter.
I'll get another bad letter.
Remember, this is the first weekend of the one-engine rule in Winston Cup, which means the engine a team starts practice with, they have to use in qualifying, final practice, and the race.
One of the things that I can hear these engines, and I hear these cars go by. These guys haven't lightened up on these engines at all. They're turning them 9 grand, which is a lot of RPM.
Dale Jarrett right at the start-finish line. Smoke starting to come out the back of it. Sure, the suspect of putting oil down. That's the reason we are under caution.
Jeannie?
Well, Jeff Green in the 30 car saying that he is still tight going into the corner, so they will make a track bar adjustment 1 round down, and of course 4 new tires and fill them up on fuel. Jeff Green ready to go out and take advantage of this window that's opened up. Dick?
Jeff Gordon is in his pit as well for a 4-tire change. Here's bad news for everybody else. Just before he came in, he said it's a good car. They've just taken 1 round out of it. It's a little bit pushy in the middle, and another good flawless pit stop by his crew. To Steve.
Well, Dick, Ricky Craven said he's just a little bit tight. They made an air pressure adjustment. He's off pit road.
Craven's tires were 6 laps fresher than Jeff Green's. I hate saying several when we can get the number, and Lynn Jeffers had it, so he had 6 lap better tires during that green flag run. Let's listen to the replay from Dale Jarrett's in-car. You'll hear that engine going sour and the radio.
One inside, one outside.
Stop getting out in the motor.
Clear low.
Spotter's still working with him.
Outside.
Even as he's coming to pit road, because you're running slow, you can really get in trouble when you're running that much slower than everybody else.
Dale Jarrett is out of the car after leading this race.
The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by the Home Depot, NASCAR's home improvement warehouse, by Smirnoff Ice, Intelligent Nightlife, by Viagra, ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you, and by Autotrader.com. New, used, buying or selling, it's the ultimate in automotive classifieds.
The second caution of the day in the Subway 400, out at lap 145, Dale Jarrett with problems. Matt's with him.
And Dale Jarrett has already climbed from his car. Your car's already headed back to the truck, DJ. A new rule this week, a 1-engine rule for the weekend. You think that had anything to do with your engine failure?
No, not this early, definitely. Just something, parts are going to break, things are going to happen. But we had a great race car, made a great adjustment there, and the car was just really driving great. I was looking forward to the rest of the race, but wasn't to be. I want to say congratulations to all the Olympic athletes from the United States. They've done a fantastic job this week. My daughter Natalie, who won her tournament, was MVP, and Cole Kenworthy for Hickory High School, he was MVP. So we didn't have it today, but we'll be back next week.
A lot of medals handed out, and the green flag drops.
Matt Kenseth, a 4-tire change with the 76 Rockingham World Championship pit crew put him on him, and Kenseth is the leader.
I mean, that group led by Robbie Reiser, the crew chief, as you say, Mike, they won the World Pit Crew Championship here in the fall. They backed it up on pit road today, which is when it really counts.
Yeah, and let me tell you just real quick, one thing about that caution, it came at a perfect time for people like Jeff Gordon. They're back in the race, closed up that gap. Watch these guys.
So now that you're comfy on the couch, we're going to get you off there, go over to the TV set of the amplifier, turn up that surround sound, and crank it up.
Oh, all right, strap that TV down.
Burton just slammed the wall again.
That's 2 or 3 times over the course of the day.
And twice in 2 laps.
Yeah, ball still that side.
I believe there might be something on the racetrack over there, because the 31 car just ahead of him climbed the wall. Then the 22 car did the same thing.
Now here's the first of 2 hits. This one just after the restart.
We've seen him up there today.
And here's the second one.
That's where he hit it earlier, coming off turn 2 onto the backstretch.
Too much car, not enough racetrack.
Just running out of real estate.
Tell you, he's wearing that thing out. Now watch this 31 car. He's going to climb the wall. Watch this. Get up on that thing. Whoop. He got it back down. But, man, everybody was going crazy. Oh, that turn 2 has been
You're carrying so much speed there, especially on fresh tires. You're backing the throttle way back in turn 1, and you're carrying so much speed at the exit of that corner. If the car's a little tight, it won't turn. You just run out of racetrack.
And not only that, if you get a good look at that wall, it protrudes out just a little bit right there where it seems like you always hit it.
Let's show you how efficient were these pit stops, Larry.
Trouble on the back. 7 car turned around.
And he gets T-boned by Kyle Petty.
John Andretti got in the back of the 7 car, turned him around.
Kyle's car is aflame. Kyle had nowhere to go and is going to try to limp back to pit road, but that car briefly was on fire from the rear. Schrader's involved.
Cautions, 3 cautions. That's all they're good at. When 1 caution comes, they keep calling.
Close it up first. Let's close it up before we fit here so we don't lose a lap. Get it fired up. Let's go. Close it up.
Buckshot Jones.
The other Petty car, the 44. There you see
19
Casey
car.
Atwood.
There goes 19 car goes by with the right side tore out of it.
Let's see what happened.
John Andretti gets into the back of. Maybe it wasn't John Andretti. No,
Jeff Gordon, the 24, gets in the back of Casey Atwood. The 7, he comes down and clips Kenny Schrader in the 36. He's right in the middle of the racetrack. Kyle Petty comes in there and nowhere to go.
Kind of all bottled up there. Got into Schrader. I don't know if Schrader hit that inside wall or not. Can't tell.
And what happens here, Darrell? Smoke. Even the spotter can't help you right here.
What caused that is off of 2 over there. He had to pedal the car. Casey did, and the 24 got in the back of it. Woo, boy, he just missed in that wall.
Let's watch from Robbie Gordon.
There's Schrader.
Following Spencer.
Got in the back of Spence.
Whoa, stop, Robbie.
Cleared it.
Stop, you got him all the way to the bottom here. He's through there, he's through. Come on.
Great job by the spotter.
Just stop. I mean,
from Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Watch your back, come on.
Got to spin on the back straightaway. Back it down. Got to go high if you can. All right, just sit right there. You got guys and all that smoke, they're on the wall. Stop right there. All right, you come all the way down if you need to, right there. Keep coming.
It's like driving through a thick fog, that smoke.
I think the key word there from all the spotters was just stop. Just stop.
That's a hell of a job right there. Nice job.
Some updates from pit road, Matt.
Well, Mike, down here in the Bobby Labonte pit, good news and bad news on the caution for Dale Jarrett's blowing engine. The good news, Bobby Labonte got back on the lead lap. They said, good job, you're on the lead lap. He says, guys, I've got bad news. We're now on 7 cylinders. They made 2 stops under that caution just to check and see if maybe a plug wire had come off. Everything looked fine. Right now they're talking about what chassis adjustments to make on the 18 when he does stop. Steve?
Well, Matt, that caution flag was a huge break for Ward Burton because he had slapped the wall. He's on pit road right now. He told crew chief Tommy Baldwin, don't drop the air pressure on me that low, because he felt the car bottom out. Tommy Baldwin said we didn't drop it that low. Right side tires on, a little bit of a problem on the right side for Ward Burton. They may have a tire rub. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Matt Kenseth and his crew chief Robbie Reiser have been in an animated conversation about whether to pit or not. They've only been about 10 laps on these tires, but Reiser has pointed out that we have had long green flag runs today, and he thinks that it might be an advantage to pit. But they also don't want to lose track position. This will be a tough call, maybe a pivotal call.
I don't think it's a tough call, DW and Mike. I want my 4 fresh tires.
But I can't tell you how many arguments I've had with my crew chief about low air pressure.
Another look at the accident that has taken perhaps 4 cars out of this race. We're under caution for the 3rd time in the Subway 400 on Fox.
Welcome back live to Subway 400, Rockingham, North Carolina, under our 3rd caution flag as it happens on lap 156 in the Hollywood Hotel. We are trackside with Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, keeping an eye on things. And you think that Matt Kenseth should absolutely pull into the pit?
Absolutely. Robbie Reiser, if you don't come get some tires, I'm going to come down there and beat on you, big boy, because you're going to have him fresher tires, believe it or not. 10 laps is a big deal around here, Chris. Early on, we talked about pit strategies and tires. Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Jimmy Spencer all went down a lap, but because they stopped early, 10, 15 laps sooner than the leader, they got back on the lead lap. That's what this track will do to you.
And Ricky, Craven fast car, not so fast with the pit stop. You spoke with some drivers, Richard Childress, one of those who are not happy with the one-engine rule. Why?
Yeah, some of the owners right now are saying it's a good thing to get rid of the qualifying engines, but they would really like to see NASCAR let you qualify your race engine, take it out, put an old workhorse engine in, one that you could run more than one or two times, maybe run it 3 or 4 times during practice. Put 100 miles on it, take it out, put your race engine back in. That would still save them money and reduce the risk of having problems during the course of a race.
What's an engine cost? About $50,000, $70,000?
About $75,000.
Okay, as you're going to look at Kyle Petty, our question of the week, and we asked on the pre-race show for you to log on to foxsports.com, powered by Lycos, and we asked you, do you like the new engine rule? To cast your vote, and so far 63%. Let's take a look at the answer. Say yes, they like the rule. And Dale Jarrett, who's already out of this race, we speculated maybe the engine. He said no, it was not connected, not this early. There's a look at Kyle Petty, part of that mix-up involving Casey Atwood, Jeff Gordon coming out of turn 2. There's Ward Burton, Daytona 500 winner, who has already hit the wall twice today.
Yeah. He's really having a hard time, but I believe that Tommy Ball and those guys, they'll get it fixed.
And there goes Ward Burton, and we go back upstairs to Mike, Darrell, and Larry.
Ward can make multiple pit stops under the caution without losing a lap. In the garage, 2 of the Petty cars, Kyle and Buckshot Jones, 2 of the Evernham cars, Bill Elliott's teammate, Jeremy Mayfield, and the Jim Smith team, which is the Evernham kind of satellite operation of Casey Atwood. And there, I saw a lot of damage to Kenny Schrader's car as well. Everyone else seems to have made it through there fairly cleanly. There's a look at Schrader coming to his crew as they try to pull out the front valence and the right rear corner.
Well, we've had a lot of trouble off of turn 2 over there, Mike, and it's a product of the racetrack. It gets slick over there, and if you could get over there and look down that wall, you'll see that it protrudes out a little bit. What happened here? Watch Casey Atwood as he comes off of turn 2 here. Oh, we're looking at the wall. Y'all see? Pull back here just a little bit if you can, guys. The wall protrudes out right in here. And that's where the cars, they come up out of that corner. They come out of here with so much speed that they run out of room, and they clip the wall right there, and get the back end will get into the wall, and when it does, it bounces out into the car beside of you. You got 1 of 2 choices. You can back off, or you can make a pit stop. Here's the 17 in.
And he brought everybody else with him.
And Jeff won't have to beat on Robbie Reiser because there's Matt Kenseth getting his stop finished and gets squeezed trying to get out, and he got beat. Jeff Gordon, Johnny Benson, 4 tires. Just about everyone on the lead lap has 4 fresh tires and a tank full. Jeff Burton getting a bit of cosmetic repair on the right front. And the cars that are a lap or more down will pit this time by. We're under caution. Let's take a break in the Subway 400 on Fox.
When I was a little boy, the devil called my name. Say now, who do you think you're fooling? She get down on her knees and hugged me. Oh, I said, love me like a rock. She rocked me like the rock, oh baby, love me. She loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me, loved me.
Here's another look at Casey Atwood in the 7.
Yeah, what happens here, see how Casey has to slow? I think the 10 car moved up in front of him a little bit. He pedaled the car. In other words, had to get out of the throttle a little bit. Gordon had a run on him, got into the back of him, turned him around, and I don't have to tell you what happened after that. You can see it for yourself.
4 cars in the garage area as a result. All of the drivers have been released from the infield care center. And 2 drivers who did not pit have gone to the head of the class.
And that would be Sterling Marlin. He's got those 10 laps on the tires. But the real surprise is the man running in second, Ricky Rudd. He did not pit. We're pretty sure he got his lap back when his teammate, Dale Jarrett, blew up. He raced back to the caution, got his lap back.
Well, we got 1 to go, and we'll see about those 10 laps on those tires, how it plays out, because I wouldn't be very happy about that.
Well, you know, 10 laps on your tires is one thing. About 15 cars behind you with fresh tires is another.
Yeah, and I tell you something else, you better start cleaning them up too, Sterling. You better wipe them off there and get them cleaned up, bud, because that stuff, there's debris all over the racetrack. That's what I worry about, running over something, cutting a tire down after that wreck. Go, Dick, what you got?
Matt Kenseth's pit stop was not the best. It's the first one he's had all day that wasn't just perfect. Justin Nodstedt, who joined this team new in this year, tripped. He's the front tire carrier. Kenseth came in first, came out fourth. Meanwhile, Robbie Reiser has been telling the gang, down here, don't worry about it. Just keep your composure. Everything's going to be fine.
Well, Dick, Ward Burton has been off and on pit road at least 7 times. They've checked the toe in. Ward said it feels like the steering wheel wants to turn to the right as we get ready to go green.
Green flag. Sterling Marlin and Ricky Rudd, who did not pit, are the race leaders.
All I know is if I'd hit the wall as many times as Ward has, I'd be turning, everything in my car would be turned around. Oh, this is edgy racing, boys. When they restart like this, all grouped up, slick track, low air, everybody's wanting to get a lap back. This one you hold your breath.
Matt Kenseth on fresh tires at 17, coming hard on the outside of lap car Dave Blaney.
Well, by the way, you tug on those belts a little bit right along now, too, because you just know that this is a little icy-dicey time.
Here comes those fresh tires. Jeff Green in that 30 car to the outside of Ricky Rudd. It's a battle for second. He has his sight set on Sterling Marlin now in that 40 car.
I don't really think Rudd was all that good, to get a lap down, and using pit strategy, Fatback did a good job of getting him up here in the front.
We probably elected track position may be a little bit of importance here.
I think so right now. Fatback's his crew chief, by the way.
Everybody on those fresh tires right now, back down to the white line, running around the bottom for a few laps, so they get a few laps on these tires.
You might look back in there and see if you see anything burning, because I see flames.
As Jeff Gordon
Something's burning, boys. Something's burning.
He's up to 7th with Tony Stewart and Johnny Benson.
Listen, methodically, from way back in 30 whatever place 33rd. It was, methodically, one step at a time, I'm there. That's what he can do. That's what that team can do. That's why he wins the championship.
Something I once heard you call aggressive patience.
Oh, he got it. It's like I always said, Lord, give me patience, but give it to me now.
Got a battle for the lead, guys. Jeff Green in that 30 car by Sterling Marlin in the 40, headed off into 1 and 2. Fresh tires, fresh tires.
Woo. Sterling almost caught a piece of that outside wall.
Well, now here's Rudd making a run.
Well, it's like a drag race here, but the momentum off of the top is what you want. That's why you get up there. You get such a great run off that corner. Down low, you kind of bog her down. Get up high, and she's freewheeling. It looked like John Force coming up out of that corner.
These views from the core cam hovering overhead North Carolina Speedway.
Sterling Marlin on the 40 now. We've about 5 laps after this restart, which is about 15 laps on his tires. He's already starting to run up to the top of the racetrack. Stayed on the bottom in 1 and 2, down in 3 and 4. A little wider sweeping corner goes up to the top.
Well, let me tell you, as the sun starts to set, as the sun starts to go down, that turn will get a little shade on it, and you might be able to hook the bottom in 1 and 2.
That is such a great shot to see those cars slide about a turn 2 and almost nick that wall.
You catch it with the gas. I know it's hard to believe. You don't want to touch the brake or you'll hit the wall.
It's a controlled slide.
It is. You got to get it right up there and right at the right time. You got to nail it.
Watch the edge of that wall, folks, as they come off that corner and just slide right up there.
It's called finesse. These guys got a lot of finesse.
Matt Kenseth for second, make that 3rd place. And this battle for 6th.
We have some combatants back here that are just lurking in the background, waiting for the next shoe to drop.
Jeff Gordon right around the bottom of the racetrack. Rusty Wallace up top.
don't know, Darrell. It's hard to lurk at 160 miles an hour.
Rusty ran the high groove 1 and 2, a little more momentum off the corner, was able to hold that position down the backstretch. Here they go again, Gordon to the bottom. Caution is on the Speedway.
Michael Waltrip has stopped at the entrance to the garage. That's the reason for the caution, because pit road is blocked. So at lap 180, we have the 4th caution flag of the day. RPM 0.
The interval keeps changing. he's not moving, everybody else is.
That's the interval from there to his car for the ride home. Caution is out. We'll be back to the Subway 400.
The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste, known only to the king of beers.
The caution is out here at Rockingham in the Subway 400, and bad news for Jeff Gordon. Look from Elliott Sadler's in-car cam as Gordon slides into his pit, wrong way in.
Man, I looked down and saw him backing up. I couldn't figure out what happened. All that working his way up to getting the top 10 there, and now it's all for naught.
Now what happened here, though, Elliott Sadler is a lap down. Cars that are lap down are supposed to wait to the second time, but what NASCAR called was a quickie caution. The racetrack was not in trouble. All they were trying to do is get Michael Waltrip's car off pit road. When they call quickie caution, everybody can pit, whether you're on the lead lap or a lap down or better.
And I bet Gordon wasn't expecting anybody to be in that pit box.
And the wrecker, big teeth of that new International on that grill, and he's been pushed back to the garage area. As you look from his back bumper cam, Michael Waltrip getting pushed into the garage. So we'll look at the pit summary from that caution flag stop. Jeff Green lost 3 spots. Sterling Marlin 1.
That's the key,
and
right
Jeff Gordon lost 15 positions on that.
Well, the difference is he was up in the 7th or 8th place. Now he's at the back of the pack. So,
and what we have here, where you came in, where you went out, the actual stop and pit road time is from where you came on to pit road, including the stop, all the way to the exit, and you see the difference there, about 30 seconds.
Matt?
And Mike, I'm down here in the 36th pit with crew chief Newt Moore. Newt, first off, you made a lot of stops on the previous caution to fix that valence. How's the race car now?
Well, we broke the nose skirt off, and that hurt us right at the start, so it made us tight. Front end was sliding, and we got that fixed, loosened it up. Now we got the nose skirt fixed up, and M&M's Pontiac's pretty good right there. He was all caught up in a bunch of traffic, so really couldn't go. We made another adjustment, did some 2 tires just to get some track position and try to get back up there where we, car's good. We'll see.
Further up pit road, Rusty Wallace only took on 4 tires, no adjustments, although the car was a little tight in the center of the corner. They borrowed the front tire changer from Dale Jarrett's car, Mike Trower, so Billy Wilburn can stay on top of the pit box.
Matt Kenseth will lead them down for this restart. Jeff Green, Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd, Ricky Craven are the top 5. Jeff Gordon will restart 21st of 22 cars on the lead lap.
Matt Kenseth trying to clear that lap car. Mark Martin, his teammate, in the 6th car.
just remember, cautions breed cautions. That's all I know. Buddy, you got to hold your breath here for a few laps.
Leaders picking through lap traffic that includes Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, Dave Blaney, and Elliott Sadler. To Dick Berggren.
Matt Kenseth had a flawless pit stop that time, Mike, and there was absolutely no conversation about whether or not he was going to pit. In the past yellow flag, Kenseth thought maybe it'd be a good idea to stay out. He was in the lead. He didn't want to lose that, but Reiser made sure he came in. Kenseth saw the advantage of fresh tires, and he decided himself, let's make this pit stop. To Steve.
Crew Chief Tommy Baldwin for Ward Burton. Tommy, you guys have been off and on pit road 6-7 times. Tell us about the damage to the car.
Something's still wrong with it. I don't know. We put on a set of tires after taking the lead there, and the car bottomed out once, and he hit the wall and messed up the suspension. But hopefully we get a couple more cautions to get to work on this cat Dodge. It's a shame, too. We had a good race car all weekend, and getting ready to race in the last half of the race here, but I don't know if we're going to get to it.
Also, guys, Sterling Marlin was on pit road, took 4 tires, no chassis. adjustments.
Seems like Ward has his most problems on the restarts. The car just takes off. Goes down in turn one, just takes off, goes up, hits the wall.
Matt Kenseth, 3/4 of a second up to the lead as we close in on halfway. Sixth place battle.
Call a gaggle of cars. All gaggled up.
Tony Stewart in the 20, Rusty Wallace in the 2. They've been battling each other, I think, for about 180 laps. Johnny Benson in the 10 car, remember earlier, thought he had a flat left rear, lost a lot of ground. Now he's back up there in the 7th position.
They tested here, so you'd think, I know they worked hard on race setup. You'd think he'd be good for the race.
I think he and James Ince together have not finished worse than 10th here. Janie?
Well, guys, I'm here with Michael Waltrip on the wrong side of the wall. What happened out there?
Something happened to the engine. We're not quite sure yet. It's a disappointing day. Bobby Labonte swerved up in front of me, and I hit him early in the race and bent my fender. And then missed that huge wreck on the backstretch, shot right through the middle of that, so that was cool. Then right after that, the engine messed up, and we're not really sure right now exactly what might have happened to it.
You made some comment on the radio coming in that Jeff Green owes you one. What was that in reference to?
It's my 500th start, and I can't win it. And he's my high school buddy. We went to high school together and grew up together. And since I can't win, he owes me a win. I want him to go out there and win this race. Brian Scheimer, Todd Hayes, and those guys last night in the 4-man bobsled. And that was inspirational watching Brian win after so long. Congratulations to Jeffrey Bodine and everybody on the American 4-man bobsled team last night. Today was set up to be a fun day. We had a good car. I think we were going to run well, and we just messed it up from the start.
Congratulations on the 500th start nonetheless. Memorable, though, for all the wrong reasons.
Michael Waltrip's 500th start. Commemorative shirts and hats and a piece of the rock.
I made my 500 start in 1990. It's 12 years ago.
I don't know if I'd have towed that one.
Well, I just thought of it.
Jeff Gordon has had a day, like the NASDAQ of late. He started 33rd. He climbed up into the top 10. Got up to 10th. Got himself back to 22nd on this restart and is now 18th.
But I know it's a lot easier said than done, but I think they have to go back to the original strategy at the beginning of the race. Let's take them one at a time. We still have almost 200 laps to go. We can still get back there.
Well, he can, and he's just been really, really cautious. I kind of keep one eye on him, and he's not forcing himself. You're not forcing the issue at all.
Ricky Craven started on the pole, led a good part of this race, drifted back as far as 8th place, but he's a top 5 car, runs in 5th right now. Michael Waltrip credited Jeffrey Bodine for the U.S. bobsled team's fortunes in Salt Lake City. It was about a dozen years ago when Bodine watched the Winter Olympics and said, those bobsled drivers, they need somebody who can handle the G-forces. I want to try that. Yeah. And so he got a ride in a bobsled, and he learned 2 things. 1, it's harder than it looks. And 2, the team was using cast-off equipment that the Germans and Swiss had designed years before. So he and Bob Cuneo from Connecticut, Chassis Dynamics, Don Barker, that whole group, funded and designed new bobsleds for the U.S. team. And now that whole program's come to fruition. The 2-men women with a gold and the 4-men team with silver and bronze. And Jeff's got to be, I think he's happier about that than finishing 3rd in last week's Daytona 500.
I'm not sure about that, but maybe. I'll give you credit for that.
So he gets a bronze, they get a gold, a silver, and a bronze. Yeah. Pretty good 10 days.
Boy, that Jeff Green in that 30 car down in the middle of 3 and 4, he was able to get back to the throttle. The car took it. He made a big gain on Matt Kenseth right there. For the last 3 or 4 laps, they had ran about the same lap times, but boy, he made a big gain in 3 and 4.
3 and 4, your line 1 and 2.
Yeah, the 22 car off of turn 4 there, it just can't, the car's all beat up. He's been in the wall 2 or 3 times, and I think that Gordon ran up on him, and I don't know if they hit or not, but if they didn't, they came awfully close to each other.
Let's have a look here.
Here they
Was
come.
there contact? Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
And a second contact.
I guess Jeff is saying, hey, if you're going to get up here, old buddy, how about going on?
Up front, Jeff Green goes right after Matt Kenseth.
He's working the bottom of 3 and 4. Matt Kenseth just gets a little better bite off that corner coming off turn 4, holds him down the front straightaway. Matt Kenseth goes back to the bottom here in 1 and 2. Jeff Green in the 30, back to the top.
These old boys have raced each other a little bit in the Busch Series, and so they know each other pretty well.
Look at the miles per hour there. Look at, I mean, it looks like they're on 2 different racetracks right there.
And they come off side by side. Go in, they get a big gap in between them, and side by side down the straightaway.
There you see it. Matt Kenseth's about 3 miles an hour faster than Jeff Green going down the front stretch. Let's see what happens going down the back stretch now. Coming off turn 2. Over 150 miles an hour.
Way all alone, and inside all by himself.
And Green took it in a little deeper and faster, as you see there, by 2 miles an hour, and completes the pass for the lead.
And that's where he's been better, is 3 and 4. The last 10 laps, that's where he's been better than Matt Kenseth.
He put the slide job on him. He got down there and he slid her right up in front of him, took his line away, and he's off to the races.
So Jeff Green is back in command at 202 laps. Just a little past halfway in the Subway 400. Matt Kenseth, Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd, and Ricky Craven are the front 5. Jeff Green leading by 0.8 of a second. He scooted away from Matt Kenseth. Sterling Marlin is 2 seconds off the pace. Ricky Rudd, highest running of our Koch family of drivers that also have Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte in the top 10. And behind the wall, Michael Waltrip, Kyle Petty, and Dale Jarrett. Steve Park is at the track, continuing his recovery. Hope to see him back soon in a Winston Cup car. Jeff Green driving for Richard Childress, trying to become the 5th of Childress's drivers to win a Winston Cup race. Ricky Rudd, Kevin Harvick, Robbie Gordon each have 1 career win for Childress. Dale Earnhardt drove 67 cars to victory, carrying the number 3.
That's a good thing about having 3 cars, you know. One of them got to get up there and get after it. They can't all 3 be bad on the same day.
Let's have a look back for the 8th place car. Bobby Labonte got back on the lead lap when Dale Jarrett lost his engine. He and Kenny Wallace have been running in tandem these last dozen laps or so. Labonte currently 8th.
I'm just hoping there's nothing wrong with that car. They ain't gonna be mad at me. Matt, what do you know?
Well, Larry, I bet you were wondering about that 18 car, and Bobby Labonte is running some of his fastest laps of the day. He came on the radio about 15 to 20 laps ago and said, Jimmy, I apologize. The motor's not going bad. I think we've got maybe a cracked header. It has changed the pitch of the engine, much like Pocono last year where they had the same thing. So right now, he's just going to ride it out. I think now it's just a broken header.
And let me tell you, a driver, he drives by feel, by what he feels, and he drives by sound. You don't necessarily have to have a tack, but if anything goes on in that engine, it changes the sound. It puts that driver on alert, and it makes him real nervous until he figures out what it is.
Now the header is the first part of the exhaust pipe from the engine. If that cracks, how does it affect the motor?
Well, if it's right against the cylinder head, it can actually hurt the power. But if it's away from the cylinder head, it's an aggravation.
Yeah, the biggest thing is could put fumes in the car, could affect the driver. The other thing is, unless you was to turn the engine off and the engine cooled down and then it sucked cold air in through that cracked pipe, as long as this thing is running, it should be fine. It could hurt performance. It could hurt performance a little bit, but it should not have an effect on the durability of the engine.
All right, Sterling Marlin has passed Matt Kenseth and taken off by about half a second. It's as if Kenseth just moved right over and let Sterling by. Let's see.
He's coming down the front stretch right here. Sterling Marlin caught him in a hurry. They're there by themselves. Why race each other? Let's put some distance on the 4th place car.
That's smart. And let me tell you, the kind of year Kenseth had last year, I'm sure he's happy just to be up there in the first 2 or 3. Got a long way to go yet. Work on the car, keep your nose clean.
For more on the leader, here's Jeannie.
And the 30 car of Jeff Green just radioing into his crew chief saying, hey, that 40 car of Sterling Marlin, what line is he running anyway? I want to keep tabs on that. He can feel Sterling breathing down his neck.
about a tenth a lap on Jeff Green, the leader. So he's right. He can feel him getting just a little bit closer, a little bit closer. You know, we talked about Jeff Green's crew chief, Todd Barrier. That was actually Kevin Harvick's crew chief last year when they won the 2001 Busch Car National Championship. They formed the 30 team. Todd Barrier moved to that crew chief position.
Well, here's the interval.
Interval here.
Between Jeff Green and Sterling Marlin. And you see that interval closing.
Yeah.
And opening up just a bit, entering the corner.
But watch it close coming off. That's where Sterling is. He's up in that high line. He's got a lot of momentum up off the corner.
Really closes in 3 and 4 from the center of 3 and 4 onto the front straightaway.
The track has just got a lot of grip up high right there from the center off, particularly up in here off of turn 4. Not so much off of turn 2 up high, but off of turn 4, a lot more grip up there.
That time in 1 and 2 made some big gains in the same area. And I think I saw this yesterday in Sterling's car in practice where his car was so strong, it's through the middle and accelerating onto the straightaway.
Gain a little in each corner, and pretty soon you're right there. Here's the tack on Sterling's car and speedometer.
And you just saw Green. He moved way up the hill. Then he's trying to emulate Sterling's lines, what he's trying to do, because he's running a little bit different line.
Sterling's chopped that advantage in half in 5 laps.
It's funny how those drivers, Larry, they see the leader or they see the guy they're chasing. If he could just have somebody to, like a rabbit, how much he can pick up.
But you and I both know here, you can only go as fast as your car will let you. You start overdriving it, you will not catch it.
Yeah, but you know, your focus changes. You see the guy leading the race, and all of a sudden the car's not, you don't think about your car. Just think about catching that guy. And that's that. And sometimes that makes the car, you don't even think about it.
Were you a better driver leading or chasing someone?
I like to be the pursuer. I love to slip up on him. Like, where'd he come from? Always love to Earnhardt look in the mirror and say, now how'd he get up here?
This pursuit right here, guys, it's just about over with. Sterling Marlin has caught Jeff Green at the end of the backstretch, headed into turn 3. Jeff Green been running that high line. Sterling going to stay with him here. Bring it down off the corner, back in the throttle. Jeff Green, the 30 car, wiggles a little bit right there.
That's just because he's trying to get back in the gas a little sooner than he probably has been to hold Sterling off, but that ain't going to happen.
Sterling Marlin beats him down in the corner, holds to the bottom, takes the lead on the back straightaway.
Hey, who's a lot more worried about Sterling than Jeff Green is Jeff Gordon. He's only about 4 seconds from going a lap down.
I don't know what happened to Jeff. He was running really well. He passed Ward Burton, and they had that little push and shove and match. Ward got back by him, and Jeff's just slowed down since then.
Well, he's been back there fighting these cars back here. That you see, I think that's Todd Bodine in the 66 car right there. He was behind him for a long time. Right there, boy, Todd Bodine in the 66. They have wore that backstretch wall out. They're going to have to recoat it after this race.
I think if I was the drivers, I'd go in and see if I couldn't get it moved back a little bit.
Ricky Rudd just shot past Matt Kenseth on the bottom. Steve?
Hey guys, Ricky Rudd has made over 730 Winston Cup starts, but he made his very first start here, his debut, in March of 1975. And to put that into perspective, 3 drivers in today's race weren't even born when Ricky made his first start. 3 more were born the same year.
Wow. I got to give a call to Michael McSwain, Fatback, his crew chief. I mean, he was a lap down not that many laps ago. A little bit beyond what we thought he should do. They left him out there on those 10-lap tires. We talked about it. He got that track position, and now he's up there in 3rd position. Jeff Hammond, we still got a long way to go. We need to start thinking about how we're going to break these pit stops down between now and the end of the race. Well, I know you've been doing some calculating down there.
Yeah, Larry, I've been looking to trying to get an idea about the guys need to stop at least 2 more times. And the way I'm looking at it, that pit window should fall around lap 253 for the leaders if they go about 70 laps on this run, which gives them another 70-lap run to get them like around lap 323 and then get them the rest of the way home. So this is a 393-lap race, 400 miles.
And there's no question that's the best formula you could use is see how many laps we had to go when we pitted the last time and see if we can break that down into equal runs.
Yeah, we really got to work on that because we've already seen tires are so critical here, but at the same time, getting in a lap or 2 early can be a big payoff on the other end, but if you stay out too long, you may lose too much ground to be able to make it up at the tail end of this race.
Well, guys, I'm with you, all right, but I tell you, I'd stay out on this run as long as I could so I'd have the least amount of laps on my tires at the end of the race. So I don't know what's wrong with Jeff Gordon anyway, Doc, you know?
Well, and Jeff Gordon's up and down day right now. The car is simply loose, and he's going to need to make a pit stop to tighten it up a little bit so he can handle better than he is handling right now.
Well, that answers that question. He's loose.
The tough thing, though, for Gordon will be staying on the lead lap until he can make that stop. At lap 227, Sterling Marlin leads Jeff Green, Ricky Rudd, and Matt Kenseth in the Subway 400 on Fox.
The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's, improving home improvement. By Pepsi Cola, experience the joy of Pepsi. By Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we'll pick you up. And by Miller Lite, grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
All those notes on race strategy for pit stop. Throw them away. We're under caution for debris in turn 1, and here come the leaders. Jeannie.
Well, Jeff Green has some great concerns about how this car is running because he's pretty pleased. He said it's just a little bit free coming off the corner. So what they're going to do is, of course, give him 4 tires, but the 2 rear tires, they're going 1 pound down. That's it. Dick Berggren?
Matt Kenseth had slipped out of the lead. The problem, the car was loose coming off the corners. They had put the wrench in the back end, tightened it up. To Matt.
And Bobby Labonte enters pit road in 6th. They made a chassis adjustment to Steve.
Sterling Marlin on pit road. Left side tires coming off. Now going back on. No chassis adjustment to the 40. The 20 of Tony Stewart. 1 pound down to both rear tires. Spoke to the booth.
232 laps complete, 161 to go. What does that do to our pit strategy?
Well, we had to create some new. You threw our other strategy away. But what I'm saying, that's going to be about 160 laps. We already seen earlier where they went almost 90 laps on a set of tires. So I'm going to say one more stop. Should we be green the rest of the way? About 80 laps a run.
We're at that point in the race where there's going to be some action, I think.
More cautions.
More caution.
Cautions breed caution.
Cautions breed caution. Then Pierre Debris threw away your strategy there, buddy.
Well, I'm used to my strategy being thrown away. You threw it away all the time on Hammond.
We're out of here. Ricky Rudd, who was a lap down earlier in this race, is the leader. He brought Sterling Marlin to the green flag. Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, and Bobby Labonte. Jeff Green, Rusty and Kenny Wallace, Johnny Benson, and pole sitter Ricky Craven, the top 10.
If you're going to get down early. Then you got time to get back. You don't want to have an up and down day. You want to have a down and up day.
Going to break, one of Kenny Wallace's crew members might have been injured on that pit stop. Matt?
And Mike, his name is Mike Buddock, a.k.a. Mongo. He's the gas man for the 1 car. He told me that some gas did get splashed up into his eyes. They did use some water to try to flush that out. He is going to take a ride over to the infield care center with the paramedics to just take a look at his eyes, but he told me that he's okay.
Thanks, Matt. So Rudd on top, and he's got a little cushion there. Got a lap car, 2 lap cars between himself and second place, number 40, Marlin.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You know, he has Ryan Newman right there, Jeremy Mayfield trying to fight to get that lap back should a caution come out. And then out in front of him is the 97 car of Kurt Busch that has made his way back on the lead lap right now should he get a caution.
Jeremy's car looks a lot like Hammond's car. The whole right side of it's pretty well used up. He ain't got but a half a car.
Sterling trying to make that pass. Kurt Busch qualified, I believe, 7th for this race, but they changed an engine this morning. And if you change an engine, just like if you go to a backup car, you have to start in the back. So Busch has worked hard to climb the ladder today, and there he is just in front of Ricky Rudd.
You want to talk about climbing the ladder, we'll go back to our 4th and 5th place battle, especially when we talk about Bobby Labonte, the 18 car. He just passed his teammate Tony Stewart. This is a battle for 4th position. This is a guy that thought he was losing a cylinder about 100 laps ago.
I was feeling really bad there for a while, but I like it now.
They have a rear view mirror full of Jeff Green, and that 30 car has just dominated this race a lot, led a bunch of laps.
Boys, they are just flat running out of the racetrack, you know. They're up. Some of these guys are just rubbing that fence in both ends of the track.
Sure, Harry Gant's not driving one of these cars. We always called that the Harry Gant groove up there.
High, wide, and handsome.
That's it. That's Harry. Robbie Gordon in 31 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. They're with Jerry Nadeau.
Just gets a run up off that corner. Pushes out there just a teeny bit.
A little wisp of smoke.
And I know we've talked a lot about these cars getting together, but it's more just a victim of this racetrack. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a flat tire, having to pit under green to come to change tires on pit road.
That may be from that contact.
They might have cut it down from that bump there with Robbie Gordon. That's 2 races in a row. Tire trouble for Dale Jr. Show you what happened back at Daytona as Earnhardt makes the pit stop. Piece of debris from behind Michael Waltrip's car. Michael ran over it. Dale ran over it, cut down the tire, which flailed around and ruined the fender.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Drop it. Go.
They get him back on the racetrack.
And guess what happened to him on the way home from Daytona? On his car.
On a street car?
On his street car. He had a flat tire.
No.
Yeah.
That adds insult to injury.
Yeah.
He'll go an additional 2 laps down. He was already 1 lap down. Now he will be 3 laps down.
And running 34th. Jeff Green working under Jimmy Spencer. Green is the 6th place car. Now Spencer a lap down there. Jeannie?
Well, why mess with a good thing? That is what Jeff Green was asking his crew chief, Todd Berrier, coming into the pit stop. He said, this car is great in the center. Let's not mess this up. It's just free off. So, of course, they made the tire pressure adjustments to the rear tires. And right now, silence is golden. What would be better if Jeff Green could get back out in the front of the pack? Steve?
Jeannie, Tony Stewart is running in the 5th position right now. On that last pit stop, their adjustments came in air pressure. They went down a pound in both rear tires. They also made a wedge adjustment on that Pontiac of Tony Stewart. Let's go to Dick Burke.
29-year-old Matt Kenseth has his best chance ever to win a Winston Cup race here at Rockingham. In his 5 previous appearances, he has never led a lap, but he has been strong all day. On that last pit stop, they tried to tighten the car up. About 3 laps into this run, he came over the radio and said just one word: tight. Not a good sign.
I tell you, my hero is and the crew chief. I love you, Larry, and I got mixed emotions about Hammond, but my favorite guy that's on the pit lane working is my buddy Fatback. Look at him. He's working. He's thinking. He's the man. How about it, Matt? Can you talk to him?
And he's also talking, DW. Fatback, your car is back up in the first there. How is that race car today?
That's a real good race car today. My guys worked really hard last week. Built this car. We cut the side off of it, started all over. Ricky drove his tail off. We have some killer pit stops, and that's why we're leading the race right now.
I know you're talking strategy for the final go here. What are you looking at?
About 1 more pit stop's all we need, so we're just trying to stretch it out as much as we can. Trying to stay in front of that 40 car. These boys take care of the rest when it comes money time.
11 races have gone by since Ricky last won at the short track at Richmond. I can pick up his 2nd win at the Rock here today.
144 laps to go. In the Subway 400, Ricky Rudd's Ford in command, Sterling Marlin's Dodge, Matt Kenseth's Ford, the Pontiacs of Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart.
You know, talk about Tony Stewart. We've heard everybody complaining about their car being tight, front end not turning. But we heard one of our guys say that Tony Stewart's car has been lacking forward bite. What that means, when he puts his throttle into it, the rear wheels don't hook up. So what they do, and they continue to lower the rear air pressure, and what that will do, that's like softening the rear springs. It will help the rear tires soak up when he puts the throttle down.
Now, Kurt Busch, he was about to, Ricky Rudd was all over the back of him, and all of a sudden, I mean, he hit the afterburner, and he has taken off and left Rudd and everybody in his dust.
Busch on the tail end of the lead lap. Rudd's last lap, 25.75. Kurt Busch's last lap coming as he comes around to the stripe. But there's a difference in the speed, as you see on our monitor.
It's coming down the
we'll
front
freeze
stretch.
it at the trap. Busch is 1 point. He's about a tenth a lot quicker.
Yeah,
tenth of a second.
I tell you, I like that little guy. I tell you, the way he. There you go. There's a difference right there.
6 miles an hour faster. That's down right before you pick the throttle up, right on the exit of turn 1, down in the middle of 1 and 2. That's a lot, 6 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, and he has just driven off and left Rudd and those guys.
And next week we go to his home track, Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
A Ford, a Dodge, and a Pontiac at the front of the Subway 400. We're back. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by UPS, official delivery company of NASCAR. We want to race the truck. People love the truck.
Caution is out for the 6th time today for a crash in turn 2. There's Dave Blaney sliding around. Gets Jimmy Spencer, and Mike Wallace and Joe Nemechek get the worst of it.
The dreaded while you were away.
So we'll have pit stops amongst the leaders. Jeannie?
Jeff Green making his way in, and at last check he was happy with the car, but they want to tweak it just a little bit, putting a half-round wedge into that right rear, and of course taking the advantage of the opportunity here at Rockingham to give him 4 fresh, clean tires. Matt?
The leader run is in, no adjustments for the 28 car, just 4 tires and fuel. As they get a tire gets loose, but they do get it to Steve.
Matt, they went down 1 round on the right rear on Sterling Marlin's Dodge, the 40 car. Left side tires are on. He tries a drag race out with Tony Stewart. The 32 still on pit road, Ricky Craven.
Ricky Rudd is stalled trying to leave his pit. Trouble for the leader.
It still has not cranked.
Oh man, and that is, you're just pushing your heart out and the thing won't crank. And you're running out of air. Come on, Rudd, do something.
Push it back, guys. You gotta hurry.
You're only allowed to push it so far down that pit road.
Yeah, you can't go outside the pit. Where's the ether?
All right, try right there. You can flip that switch I told you about. Turn it off. Turn 1.
A little starting fluid into the cowl.
Come on, baby.
Come on, crank.
Come on, baby.
I can't believe ether's going to help that motor crank. Normally that works when you ran out of fuel, and they will not be out of fuel.
His teammate Dale Jarrett already out of the race with engine trouble.
And now he's a lap down.
Guys, get some more people out there. Some boys can have a break.
Now, there's one thing that Fatback can do a lot of things, but he ain't going to get down and push that car down pit road, I can tell you.
Now, here come the lap down cars around him trying to get out.
And you know one thing, he's wanting other people out there. Unless you're a crew member that has a helmet, you can't even go out there to push your race car. You cannot go across pit wall.
A tough day for the Robert Yates Ford team. Jarrett out and Rudd trying to restart.
Start spin. Try to push it over. Almost win. It almost win. Come on, guys.
That was Ricky Rudd saying it almost went. And he goes.
There he goes. Pete's sake.
I mean, you start at the back of the field, you go a lap down, you make your lap back up, you get some track position, you're leading the race, and then it dies on pit road. What a roller coaster day.
Vapor lock? Hard to say.
That's what makes this sport so fun and agonizing.
And what this is the race leaving pit road. This is the line. There you see Tony Stewart barely beating Sterling Marlin, Jeff Green in the 30 right behind him. And all this is happening, Ricky Rudd sitting in the middle of pit road stalled.
The caution is out because of a 4-car crash up in turn number 2. 177.
Whoa, yeah, he got into the side of Spencer's car. Turns it around right in front of Nemechek. Here comes Mike Wallace. Gosh, who was that? It went right through the middle of it.
Everybody
else. The rest of the field.
Mike Skinner, among others. It is the 6th caution flag of the day, and as we're fond of saying, well, this changes everything. Except the channel. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Fox welcomes you back to the Rock. 130 laps to go. The Subway 400. It began earlier today. Michael Waltrip, his 500th Winston Cup start, but engine problems took him out of the race in a hurry. Ward Burton, who won the Daytona 500, twice scraping the wall. Dale Jarrett leading for a time, but blowing his engine to go out. And on lap 156, a 6-car wreck. Casey Atwood kind of doing a little rock sliding. Buck Jones, Kyle Petty involved in that spill. Jeff Gordon lost 15 positions with some problems in the pits as he kind of slid past his pit spot moments ago, lap 257 on the back of the pack, Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, a couple of these guys, you see Dave Blaney getting wrecked right there in turn 1 and 2, picked up.
And Jimmy Spencer, Mike Wallace involved, and Ricky Rudd, who was leading, stalled coming out of the pits and just could not get it started. Second, Robert Yates' motor out as we now are going green. Let's go back up to Mike Joy.
Matt Kenseth leads Bobby Labonte, his teammate Tony Stewart, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Green to the green flag.
Green, green, green. Go, go, go. Whoa. Kenseth got a little loose down there in the middle of the corner, but he got it back under him.
Jerry Nadeau was in the top 10, but he made an additional pit stop just prior to the green flag, so he's at the back of the pack, but still on the lead lap.
See Mark Martin in that 6 car, he's trying to get his lap back. We need to document that Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman did get their lap back on that last caution. They are on the lead lap again.
Matt?
Well, guys, since NASCAR mandated the kill switch on the steering wheel, we have seen a handful of drivers accidentally hit that kill switch. Is that what happened to Ricky Fatback?
No, he didn't hit the kill switch. The kill switch actually broke. Those things aren't very good, and there isn't a very good quality switch you can put on the steering wheel. But we keep running it because NASCAR says we have to run it.
Well, they went from first all the way back to 28th. Dick?
Robbie Reiser is Matt Kenseth's crew chief. This crew has taken that car from 25th to 1st. A lot of changes on the last pit stop. Hey, we're getting to showtime. Can you guys get it done today?
Well, I don't know. We've been adjusting on it all day long, trying to get it right for him. We're up there. You know, we got a shot at this thing. We just got to be smart here at the end. Know when to bid. That'll probably be a big deal if it stays green. But Walt Ford's been running great all day, and the guys have been doing a great job over the wall. We've been really competitive, so I guess that's a step in the right direction for the way it's been running.
And he's been playing psychologist as well as the guy who's making a lot of the decisions about what happens to that race car.
Reiser and Kenseth, both from Wisconsin. Hotbed of short track racing in the Midwest.
I've always said all these teams need a therapist on them. Because all these guys need a little therapy, you know, after a while. If you drive very long.
He has opened up a 1.2 second lead in a very little amount of time. Stewart climbs the hill. He's drifted a bit back from his teammate Labonte. And there's our pole sitter Craven, tracking Rusty Wallace for 6th place. And Jeff Burton up in the top 10. Haven't seen much from Jeff today.
Kurt Busch did get back on the lead lap, you know, so that's a fast race car. You got Burton up there in the top 10, so, you know, that's 2 Roush cars. That's not a bad day for those guys.
Talk about tracking, though. There he is, the 24 car, the Flames. He's back to 11th positions after spinning on pit road, going all the way to the tail end of the lead lap cars, and he's back here in the picture with about 130-something laps to go.
Well, now if you've got anything, you better use it, because you get down inside 100 laps to go here, you got to turn up the wick.
Jeff Green, Sterling Marlin, they've both led this race. They've both been contenders. Now they're racing for 4th. Sterling's like that high line all day, Darrell.
Let me tell you, when you head off into turn 1, the sun starts to set down there in the corner, and boy, it gets harder and harder to see as that sun gets in your eyes going into turn 1.
Jeff Green takes the spot, and now they pull up on lapped cars, Harvick, Martin, and Spencer, who are dueling and all but got together. That'll take your breath.
And these are all cars that are lapped down. Spencer in the 41, Harvick in the 29, Mark Martin in the 6th. Jeff Green, though, he goes to the bottom of the racetrack. He's not going to give that position up.
Mark's trying to get out of the way, and I know how he feels. His car's not very fast, and he just can't get out of the way. I tell you, don't you feel a bit of urgency? Don't you feel the difference in the race right now? Intensity has picked up considerably all the way through the field.
Well, Matt Kenseth has nearly a straightaway on that group we were just watching. So they've got to go. They can't hold back.
We're getting close to that 100 to go mark, and that's when everybody kind of starts panicking just a little bit.
6th place, Wallace and Craven. And there is Jeff Burton right with them as they battle for 6th place.
You know, Jeff Burton, we have not talked about him. Started back in 22nd. He stayed on the lead lap. He stayed out of trouble. They've had good pit stops, and now he is up here battling in the top 10.
What's that spotter always tell you, Darrell? Keep digging. Keep digging.
Oh, yeah.
You're not out of this. Keep digging.
You demand.
Yeah.
You demand.
Well, sometimes you are.
Yeah, well, I can't tell you what encouraging that driver will do for him. Makes all the difference in the world when you tell him he's doing a good job.
Matt Kenseth's lead over Bobby Labonte now a full 2 seconds. Tony Stewart 1.5 seconds further back in third, but as we've already seen today, anything can happen.
The Subway 400 on Fox is brought to you by Subway. Fuel up with a delicious fresh-made taste from Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Welcome back to Rockingham, our Subway race summary. 14 lead changes amongst 7 leaders. 21 cars on the lead lap. We've had 6 caution flags, mostly turn 2, and they've consumed 38 of the 281 laps so far. Matt Kenseth leads Bobby Labonte by 2.3 seconds. Tony Stewart remains 1.5 seconds off the lead, but from there back things are busy. Jeff Green, Sterling Marlin, Ricky Craven, Rusty Wallace. And here are the drivers with the biggest gains today.
Oh, she's about a mover.
And Jeff Gordon, that figure right there is deceiving. He's had to do it twice.
Right.
So it's a little bit deceiving.
We should have 46 positions,
exactly.
Just about.
I love you, pretty baby. Oh, yeah. What'd I say?
Well, he's up to the top 10, Darrell.
Oh, he's had a up and down day.
And up and down, up.
And it's hard to believe 2 of the stronger cars today, Jeff Gordon in the 24, Ricky Rudd in the 28, their problems have not been on the racetrack. It was on pit road.
Gordon slid into his pit, and Rudd could not get refired after stalling the car on a pit stop. And up front, Kenseth continues to pad his advantage. Next week, ka-ching!
All right.
Las Vegas, what a great place just to go and visit with all that's going on there, all the glitter and all of the shows and entertainers, and wow, there's a pretty neat racetrack there too.
Got that right. It's a fun town to go to. Make a few deposits out there next week.
A few withdrawals, we hope.
No, mostly deposits.
For 5th place, Sterling Marlin and Ricky Craven, the pole sitter. Nose to tail.
I tell you, we got to, cars are staying pretty bunched up after this last restart. The leaders have stretched out a tad, but pretty good racing going on back in the pack here.
Now, is that all Craven's got? No, here he goes. He's going up top.
And the reason those lines keep crossing is the 2 distinct different lines that these cars are running. Ricky Craven, as we expected back on lap 10, would be at the top of the racetrack. Sterling Marlin running at the top in 3 and 4, but he goes to the bottom in 1 and 2 normally.
Well, that again, the sun's going down. That turn's starting to get a little shade on it. It's cooled down some. You can get into the bottom of the racetrack once the sun goes down.
And Darrell, I don't think anybody, unless you've been in one of these race cars, knows just how bad that sun is this late in the evening going into turn 1. This place, we're in the sand hills. The windshield gets sand blasted, and you're driving straight in that sun. A lot of times you just barely see a car out your windshield. That's how you know where to get in the turn 1.
Well, that's the other reason you start running a little lower, too, because you can't really see the wall. You want to stay away from it.
Trouble, Todd Bodine. Off turn 2, of course. That's where most of the cautions have come today, and this will be the 7th at lap 289. His teammate got up in there early. Joe Nemechek. Again, this is Travis Carter's team. This is their last race with Kmart as a sponsor, and that 2-car team.
Well, Nemechek's wrecked 3 times. I think Todd's wrecked a couple of times. Not a very good day.
We know all the teams will be to pit road, and this is where Jeff Gordon and that 24 team, they need to shine in that pit box.
Well, he's going to be closed up a little closer to the leaders this time, so he's not going to come down to pit road and get blocked by cars pulling out in front of him. So time to make one of those 14-second stops.
This will make things interesting because if they pit this time, if pit road is open this time, they'll have to go 103 laps. That's a long time. You might make it on gas, but those tires will be screaming.
It's going to be close on everything. It'll be close on fuel and tires.
That's what makes it interesting.
Let's show you what happened to Todd Bodine.
He's coming up off of turn 2 here. Everything looks to be okay, all by itself, and then, hello.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Matt Kenseth is on his way in, 4,700 RPM in second gear. They're going to make 1/4 round on the track bar. The only change they're making. This car is really right to Matt.
And Todd Meredith helps index the tire on the front of Bobby Labonte's car. Just became a new father on Friday. No other changes. They are going to be 5 laps short when they pack this fuel cell full of fuel, making the distance, Steve.
Well, Matt, the Jackman on the 20 car slips as he comes around. The right side tires went on well. They're going to go down 1 pound in the right front on that number 20. Stewart is away. Sterling Marlin right in front of him.
Let me tell you, that 17 bunch is whooping out some pit stops now.
That's the reason they're the world champion.
Man, and they're proving it today.
The fuel tanks in these cars can hold no more than 22 gallons. Each of those dump cans can hold no more than 11 gallons. So you're limited how much fuel you can legally get into the car. And while it is gasoline, it's not pump gasoline. It's 76 leaded 110 octane gasoline. That gives these cars all that horsepower.
And Darryl, we always thought you won races because you got good fuel mileage. You just had more fuel, but I believe Jeannie Zelasco can update us on the 30 car.
How'd you know that?
Guys, Jeff Green is coming back for more, and it's not for a good reason. He got 4 tires with the last pit stop, but his water is fluctuating, and they think he might have a cracked cylinder head, so he's going to come back in here for another pit stop. They're going to put some water in and watch it. Disappointing for this team. It's been running so well all day, guys. We'll keep you posted.
But boy, the real winner on pit road, Rusty Wallace, he came in 8th. He's going out 3rd. That's what win races. You win them on pit road with that pit crew.
Driver must have done a great job.
Matt Kenseth and Bobby Labonte will lead them on the restart in 1 lap. We'll update you on the NASCAR Busch Series points. After Jason Keller won a thriller here yesterday, he and his rookie teammate Scott Riggs are the point leaders in the NASCAR Busch Series. Graduate of the Craftsman Truck Series, Riggs and Jack Sprague, 2nd and 3rd, former champ Randy LaJoie. And in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Robert Presley, Ted Musgrave, led a Dodge sweep at Daytona, Brian Rose, Joe Ruttman, and Rick Corelli. The Sears NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. All right, green flag coming up. Matt Kenseth in the Ford, Bobby Labonte's Pontiac, Rusty Wallace's Ford, and the Dodge of Sterling Marlin, the Pontiac of Tony Stewart, and pole sitter Ricky Craven. This may settle it right here.
Right now, that crew chief is saying, don't let that 17 get away so far this time.
99 laps to go.
Ooh. Spencer kind of squeezed up in front of Bobby Labonte there. I'm sure he didn't appreciate that.
And here comes Harvick. He'd like to get back on the lead lap.
Well, that's what happens. See, Kenseth's out there all in clean air, and Bobby's got these lap cars he's got to contend with. And they don't cut you no slack with 100 laps to go.
From Rusty Wallace.
I tell you, that Rusty got a gear laid up in that thing. I love to hear that engine.
It's even turning a lot of RPMs on the back stretch. You can imagine what it's doing on the front stretch.
He is singing that baby. You know, he's had a good day. I mean, he's been in the top 10 all day long. He's had a really good day.
Well, let's see just how high he's twisting it.
What's that thing? It's spinning the wheels up a straightaway.
Turning about 8,900.
Yes,
that's at the end of the back stretch.
I mean, that's 9,100 over here on the front.
Remember, this is fresh tires. They're off turn 4.
That'd be one of them 440 gears.
Right up. Oh, a little over. Bumped it up there. Just a little over 9,000.
Yes, sir.
But it falls lower. You turn more RPMs down the front stretch because turn 1 and 2 is so tighter. You turn less RPMs in 1 and 2 than you do 3 and 4.
You got the big D shape. You run from the middle of 3 and 4 to the way down here turn 1. You got a big D to run through.
That's Harvick way up there in the corner. Went way up high trying to find his way past Labonte and challenged to get back on the lead lap. One spot back of Rusty Wallace. There's Sterling Marlin battling Ricky Craven. Steve?
Hey guys, just listening to Sterling Marlin talking to crew chief or team manager Tony Glover. He wanted to know if the grill was cleaned off. Tony assured him that it was, and in the next breath, he told the spotter on the 40, Lauren Ranier, he said, you go tell the spotter on the 48, if Jimmy Johnson keeps racing us that way, we're going to take him behind the woodshed.
Let me tell you, when a boy from Columbia, Tennessee tells you that,
probably believe it.
I would believe him if I were you.
There's Johnson in the 48, a rookie, Daytona pole sitter. He's a lap down here. And there is Johnson's co-owner with Rick Hendrick, Jeff Gordon. And Gordon now sits in 10th. Dick?
Well, I just had a conversation with his crew chief, Robbie Loomis, and believe it or not, he managed to smile despite the screwy day they've had. Started way in the back of the pack, got forward, spun on pit road. Now they're in 10th position. And Loomis said that the car has gone from loose to tight to loose to tight. This last round of pit stops, they tried to tighten it up again. Do not count Jeff Gordon out. He has run this race 9 times before and won it 3 times out of those 9 times.
You see a lap ago right here coming off turn 2. The car behind him was Ward Burton, and Ward brushed the wall again 1 lap ago.
Ward has the work. He just has a hard time on restarts. They got to have the air pressure so low that he just can't drive the car. About 10, 15 laps into a run, he's okay.
And 2 things that happen on that low air pressure. Again, the car won't turn, but as he mentioned earlier, Tommy Baldwin mentioned bottoming out.
Yeah.
Here's a guy we have to give a call to, Bobby Hamilton. He qualified 10th. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. This is the car that Joe Nemechek drove to victory here in the fall race. They bring it here as the 55 car. He's running in 7th position. And this is crew members talking right here between Joe Gibbs' teams, the 18 car, that's Mark Conquest. He looks over the entire engine program for Joe Gibbs, both teams, and they're talking here, and I'm sure what they're talking about right now, can they run that 101 or 2 laps on fuel? Matt Yoakum, is that what they're talking about?
Well, Larry, you're exactly right, and the gentleman in the Home Depot uniform was Chris Woodward, the engine tuner on the 20 for Tony Stewart. How much are you going to be short?
Both cars are about 2 to 3 laps short from going, no matter how you figure it. So, my best we are.
And remember, guys, Bobby Labonte, normally known as a late starter, when he did win the championship, he won this race at the Rocks. So they're hoping for another caution.
Labonte second by 3 seconds to Matt Kenseth.
Okay, guys, now I've been doing this for a while, and when those crew chiefs tell you they're going to be a couple of laps short, what usually happens? They usually make it.
Well,
but you still want you to be thinking about it.
At, let's say, 5 miles a gallon, a couple of laps, half a gallon of gas.
Yeah.
And folks,
all he's got to do is just stay right where he is. Follow somebody, squeeze up out of that throttle a little early. Don't get back in it quite as quickly, and don't hold it wide open quite as long, and you can get a couple extra laps out of it. Don't believe me, ask Hammond.
as we've said, these cars will hold 22 gallons of fuel, but are the fuel cells configured so they can pick up all 22 gallons of fuel?
Well, I always ask Hammond, I said, did you get it full? And he said, no, just got 2 cans in it.
306 laps complete in the Subway 400.
The Subway 400 is brought to you by Subway. Get on the right track with the delicious fresh-made taste from Subway. Subway, eat fresh. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Valvoline's Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. And by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Are you ready for a cold one?
Matt Kenseth, 4 seconds ahead of Bobby Labonte, who's been caught by Rusty Wallace and Ricky Craven. Sterling Marlin, a close 5th. Next week, the land of screams and dreams. We headed to Las Vegas. NASCAR Winston Cup qualifying at 5 Eastern Time on Fox Sports Net on Friday. Las Vegas Speedway on Saturday, a big day. On FX, the NASCAR Busch Series presented by Midas at 3:30, followed by NASCAR Winston Cup practice. On Sunday, NASCAR this morning at 10 a.m. on the net. The UAW Daimler Chrysler 400, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. NASCAR Victory Lane wraps it all up Sunday night at 9 p.m. Now that's a No Bull 5 race. $1 million bonus at stake for these 5 drivers and the lucky fan who is paired with them in that Winston promotion.
This is the top 5 finishers from the Talladega race in October.
Watch this. You think this guy, he's leading the race by a considerable margin, and you think he's taking it easy and backing off?
he got that left front below that white line. Now, unlike last week, it's not out of bounds. They figure it's enough penalty you get down there because the banking transition changes dramatically, and that's what upset Matt Kenseth in the 17 while ago.
Well, you want to start in as low as you can because you know you're going to end up as high as you can.
I tell you what, though, our pole sitter, 32 car, Ricky Craven, he's coming. This is a battle for fourth with Sterling Marlin.
Sterling just got underneath him, Larry, and picked up the spot. Craven had been bumper to bumper with Rusty Wallace.
I believe that Bobby Labonte is possibly trying to conserve fuel because Rusty closed up on him and then Bobby was able to pull away from him a little bit. So there's a lot of strategies that are being played out right now as to what's going to happen these last few laps.
And the biggest one is, can you make the fuel last and can you make those tires last?
The big key, yeah, you got, it's normally can you make the tires last, but when you have a caution with roughly 100 to go, it becomes can the fuel go that distance as well?
Well, and the thing about it is the tire wear does get better as the day goes on. That last set of tires, that's probably your best set, and they do get the tire wear and everything does improve as the day goes on, and I think Matt can follow.
Well, guys, whichever one chose answer A, Bobby Labonte is trying to conserve his tires, you're a winner because that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to save those tires for a run at the finish.
So it's Ford, Pontiac, Ford, Dodge. Remember the last time Dodge won the first two races of the season?
Well, it was probably in 1970.
Would you believe it's never happened?
Oh.
Chrysler Corp won the first two in 1956, Tim and Fonty Flock. Dodge and Plymouth, Chrysler Corp won the first two in 71. Ray Elder at Riverside and Richard Petty at Daytona. Ward Burton won the Daytona 500, and Sterling Marlin is trying to put himself in a position to win here.
He's trying to catch this gentleman right here in this Ford, Matt Kenseth, in this 17 car. He is just really, it's like as the day went on, he has gotten stronger.
But I tell you, the other guy that as well that happens to is Ben Bobby Labonte. The longer he has run, the better he has gotten. And I think he's going to chase it. I think he got beat here last year by inches by Steve Park.
590.
Chased Steve Park down. Park dominated the race, and Bobby was able to catch him right at the end. Could happen again today.
5 cars still slow at the bottom of the head.
If they run to the checker and Labonte can gain 0.2 of a second a lap, he'll be there.
Well, I tell you, I think he's probably can do that when his time comes. I'm gonna put my money on him again.
Quite a battle for third right here. Sterling Marlin in that 40 car. He's going to take the position from Rusty Wallace. I believe that's the man I picked.
You picked him, yeah.
Meanwhile, Ricky Craven in the 32 car running that high line. He's hanging right with these guys as well.
But they are 5.5 seconds off the lead. Now with Sterling in front, can he pull them to the front? Steve?
Hey, DW was talking a little bit ago, Mike, about how the spotters and the crew chiefs can pump up the driver. Well, Ricky Craven's doing it in reverse. He just told his team, you guys are doing an awesome job. I just need to focus on the end of the race now.
Well, and he's got a good race car. He's been in the top 5 or 6 all day long. He's got pretty much the leaders in sight, everybody except Kenseth. If he bears down and he can pick up a little, he can get a great finish here.
Look at Marlin. Look at the distance he's opened up on Rusty Wallace in just a couple of laps. And we'll talk about the Darlington stripe in a few weeks. Ward has been doing the Rockingham rub down on that turn 2 wall all day, but he's still in the hunt.
I can't believe he's still going. I mean, he has whacked that wall down there in the middle of 1 and 2 about 3 times really hard. Had the car up in the air at one time.
Kurt Busch, part of that battle toward the tail end of the lead lap. Ryan Newman as they chase. Schrader. Well, that was close.
Remember Schrader in the 36. He was in that wreck on the backstretch earlier. The 97, Kurt Busch, and Ryan Newman, the 12. They were a lap down, got their lap back.
Kurt Busch is, I tell you, we know he's fast because he drove away and left the leaders. That's how he got his lap back earlier. And there he is now. He just went around Ward and he's on the move.
And we should mention that from that 5-car wreck earlier, Kyle Petty and Casey Atwood both returned to the racetrack after repairs in the garage. Many laps down, but still running.
And you may say, why would they bother? But they pick up 5 or 6 spots here. Points are so critical when it comes to provisionals, end of the year. So many things. You got to think points all the time, every time you go on the racetrack.
not pretty, but it's still out there.
Matt Kenseth's lead now stands at 4.2 seconds. But Sterling Marlin is beginning to close in on second place, Bobby Labonte. Looking for his second Winston Cup victory, Matt Kenseth has a 3.8 second lead. Bobby Labonte now holding his own against Sterling Marlin, Rusty Wallace, and Ricky Craven, the top 5. Tony Stewart 6th. Jeff Green has moved up to 7th. Neil Bonnet started 30th to win this. Kenseth today started 25th. Steve?
Hey, Mike, we may have problems on that 32 car of Ricky Craven. He just said the car is shaking going into the corners. If it gets worse, I'm coming in. I'm pretty sure it's the right front, and the crew is already on the wall.
Well, what that tells me is you use a lot of brake here, and he's been using the brakes. He's probably about got them worn out. The rotors are warped up a little bit, and that thing's starting to vibrate when he puts his foot on the brake. That would be my guess, because I've had it happen here a number of times.
Craven is 5th. Kurt Busch was the only car at the end of the last caution flag to come in and top off the tank just before the green. He might have an extra 2 laps or so of fuel under that 97.
And not only that, he's fast. I mean, it's not like he's going to use it. If he was to win this race, it would be not a big surprise because that car is fast.
Jack Roush has several cars in this race, and he never plays a hand the same way as the rest of them. What's up, Matt?
And Roush, known as a gas miser, always good on fuel mileage. Jimmy Fennig is the crew chief for Kurt Busch. Can you go the distance?
No, we're going to be about 10 laps short. We can't make it, so as of now.
When do you think you may try to make your final gas and go?
Probably about 380, somewhere in there. 75, 380.
Well, remember, Kurt Busch had a great race car here back in the fall, led 45 laps before engine failure ended his day.
Here's a surprise. Johnny Benson, who started 3rd, is on pit road. Have to be an unscheduled stop.
I think so. They just haven't had the kind of day I'm sure they were anticipating. Qualifying well like they did. Him, Schrader up on the Schrader second, him third. I'm sure they thought they were going to be right up there all day. They've really struggled.
Well, we know with this pit stop, he can go the distance. It's only been 43 laps since they were on pit road.
But he'll go 2 laps down with the green flag stop. Ricky Craven after Rusty Wallace for 4th.
Darryl, you talked about using a lot of brake. You know, this is one of those places you enter the corner so hard, and as you say, use the brake. You're using the brake 800 times here over the course of a 400-lap race. And, you know, we have brake openings that we try to cool those brakes, but as crew chiefs, we get so aggressive trying to run those openings smaller and smaller because we know tape on the front end. The more tape you run, the more it helps that front downforce. We've heard everybody saying they're tight. More front downforce helps that car to turn.
Yep. Second place engine builder Mark Cronquist just down to confer with lead crew chief Robbie Reiser.
He's just trying to find out if they think they can make it or not.
You think they tell him?
Oh yeah, they always share information with one guy. One guy's in a Ford, one guy's in a Pontiac. Sure, he'll tell him everything he wants to know.
All right, Johnny Benson made an unscheduled stop. Dick?
Well, there were 2 reasons for the stop, Mike. One was that the car was wicked loose, and they decided they really needed to tighten it up, and simultaneously, they thought it was a good idea to short pit, come in before everybody else, get 4 fresh tires on that car, and make a run for the checker. To Jeannie.
In the 30 pit, Jeff Green radioing in, saying these brakes are getting pretty soft. Darryl, as you said just moments ago, so much use, so he's trying to lay off them as much as he can, but he also has another problem. He is loose off and tight in the center.
See, what happens is we harp, and the crew chief harps all day long, stay off the brake, stay off the brake. But as the tires wear down and the car wants to run up the hill the way it does, one way you can slow it down is early on you do it with the throttle to get it to turn, but later on you do it with the brake to get it to turn, and you may even trail brake a little.
Matt Kenseth's lead is shrinking 2.3 seconds over Bobby Labonte, and Sterling Marlin is right there on second place. Labonte might be a change there when we come back. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. The caution flag flies for the 8th time this afternoon in the Subway 400. Debris on the front straightaway puts paid to Johnny Benson's chances with that early off off-timing pit stop and Elliott Sadler's. They'll both go a couple of laps down, and as pit road opens, here they come.
That's a chance you take, and buddy, right now you got to have a great pit stop.
This is where you need that good stop. Strategy's out the window.
Ricky Craven's guys got to step it up a notch because he's been a little slow out.
Dick
17's been killing him, and
Matt
Dick Berggren.
Kenseth in his final pit stop of the day. If all goes according to plan, they needed this pit stop. They could not have made it all the way on fuel. They're only putting a quarter round bite in this race car. That's it. It has been terrific all day. To Matt.
Bobby Labonte already in. Todd Foster pulling off the left front. They made an air pressure adjustment in the left rear. Labonte needs help with forward bite, and he's tight to the center of the corner to Steve.
Matt, Ricky Craven in just in front of Sterling Marlin. Crew Chief Mike Beam said, get all the gas in it you can in the 32. I don't want to affect the balance of this race car. He's referring to weight.
146 laps to go. Kenseth, Marlin, Labonte, the way they came onto pit road. We'll shuffle them off pit road for you when we come back to the Subway 400 on Fox.
Welcome back. Just 44 laps to go. Matt Kenseth, who has led the most laps, is leading. Sterling Marlin, Rusty Wallace running third, and Jeff Hammond the race out of pit road. What'd you see that caught your eye?
I'm telling you right now, the fact that Matt Kenseth's crew once again beat Sterling Marlin off pit road to give Matt that preferred line getting down in on this restart could be crucial to who wins this race.
Kenseth, the Winston Cup Rookie of the Year in 2000. His first career Winston Cup victory came nearby Charlotte in the Coca-Cola 600. Tonight on Fox Sports Net, get all the wrap-up you need from the weekend in Rockingham on NASCAR Victory Lane All Access. A full hour of interviews, highlights, analysis, wrapping up all the action from here, plus an exclusive All Access pass from one of NASCAR's fastest. Kenny Wallace takes you behind the scenes into what it takes to get ready for race day. It's NASCAR Victory Lane All Access tonight only on Fox Sports Net. Let's go back upstairs. They're ready to go green. Mike?
Further update on David Bryant, the front tire carrier for Jimmy Johnson. He has broken his right leg and has been taken to Carolina Medical Center in Charlotte for treatment.
All right, it's getting late in the day. That sun's setting down there. It's going to be hard to see. You got lap cars all around you. You got to try to win this race, and gas mileage and tires is out the window.
Don't conserve anything.
Bring me back nothing but the steering wheel.
42 laps to go.
Not only has Matt Kenseth's crew been on the mark on pit road, Matt Kenseth been all over the top of that steering wheel on restarts. It's like he shot out of a cannon.
And he has got the wolves after him too, boys. Look at that. In one lap, he just drove off and left those cats.
The front five have cleared the cars one or more laps down.
And even though these guys up front are racing for the win, there's guys back in here that are one lap down that are trying to, finish, be the first car one lap down. That's 20th place. Kevin Harvick is one lap down.
With everybody on new tires, they're all Superman now.
Yes, sir.
For a while. Well, they've all cranked it up. It's time for you folks to crank it up. Kenseth has jumped out to a 1-second lead, much as he did on that last restart.
Right now, he's at least a tenth quicker than anybody behind him, faster than Sterling Marlin, faster than Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, I don't know what adjustments they've made on that car today, but whatever they are, they have hit it right on the money. I mean, that thing has been awesome the second half of the race.
That time, he was 2.5 tenths quicker on that lap than Sterling Marlin.
Keep doing what you're doing. Looking nice and smooth.
Giving him lap times and the interval back to the second place car.
and he's running down on the bottom of the racetrack. I mean, he's really been down there most all day. He's got that Martin look, you know. Keep that left wheel down on that white line and go.
Mike Wallace back in the race after repair of crash damage. Out of the shade, Sterling Marlin back into the sun on the back straightaway with the sun at his back.
Boy, it's really hard to see going down into turn one. The luxury these guys have today, though, is they got those tear-offs. So if you've saved one for the end of the day, you're not going to have that beat-up windshield like we're used to.
Look at the glare on that dash.
Of course, these are Lexan or plastic windshields. Used to run glass windshields here. We didn't know what tear-offs were. It was really bad.
But look how dark it gets right through there.
We'll talk about a driver that we've not talked about today. Started 16th, and I just want to say, I don't think anybody anticipated Robbie Gordon having the performance that he's having already and winning a race the end of last year. But I think the whole key is the owner he's working with now, Richard Childress.
Yeah,
he knows what Robbie Gordon's looking for. He knows how to handle Robbie Gordon, and he's getting the full potential out of this young man in this race car.
Yeah, and then, you know, every now and then a light will come on in some of these guys' heads and realize this is my best opportunity to prove myself.
He's matured a lot since a year ago. He's averaged 18th with one win last year at New Hampshire, the Turkey Day race.
And I think that's Ricky Cravens is the same way. I think he's realized this is a great opportunity for me to prove myself.
He just proved it to Bobby Labonte, didn't he?
He just took that opportunity.
Third, fourth, and fifth here.
Well, if he's going to catch Matt Kenseth, he's going to have to pass all those guys pretty shortly.
Last year, Craven started 41st in this race on a provisional. Ran it to the top 5.
And he was fun to watch, too.
Yes.
Remember, he passed everybody, and it just passed all the cars.
There he is, top of the racetrack right there. It's a little early right now. Rusty has those fresh tires. He's down on the bottom, gets a good bite off the corner right there off turn 2.
This is the end of the track where he accelerates. He really comes through this end of the track. Ooh, car got a little bit loose with him that time. Back end stepped out on it. He's pushing it hard right now. He knows he's got to. There you go. Got it down on the bottom. See how much better the bottom of the track is down in 1 and 2 now?
Well, especially and also with the fresher tires. We may see him back up there later on in this run.
Got sun in 3 and 4, so you don't have a lot of grip on this end of the track, but you're picking up grip on the 1 and 2 end.
Craven ran a lower line through 3 and 4 that time, and it paid off. He got right to Wallace's bumper. Here he goes.
He's under him. Accelerate right past him. Hey, once you get the thing where it was sticking at the bottom and you can get back in the throttle, you're going to beat that guy up on the outside.
Well, 2 laps ago, he was all at the top of 1 and 2. Rusty was at the bottom. Now they flip-flop.
Mike Skinner puff of smoke as he got up in the marbles, flames from out the exhaust pipe. And that may be the day for the Morgan McClure Chevy.
Got to have a caution. That looks like
Speedway.
A lot of fluid looked like was coming out of that car back there.
Not going to be clearing cars. Yellow is out.
Now Skinner was way up out of the groove when that let go, but he's up where some of those drivers like to run, so caution is out for the 9th time today. No one is in touch with the leader, Matt Kenseth, to try and get a lap back.
Okay, guys. What do you want me to do? 4
tires.
Yeah.
4 tires.
Thank you. Spare 2 if you got one.
Figured you'd like to hear that.
Don't leave me out here.
28 laps to go.
Got to come.
You don't think anybody will try for track position?
Oh, I think it's a two-edged sword. If the leaders go and I was middle of the pack, I might stay out. If the leaders stay out, I'm back the pack, I might come in. So it's just kind of see what the leaders do.
Well, what's the leader going to do? There's Matt Kenseth's team up on the wall, ready to come over. They got their game face on. I don't think they're faking.
Here, 4,700. Nice and smooth, guys. 4 tires on it. Nice and smooth.
19 cars on the lead lap.
And 28 laps.
All will come.
28 laps is just outside the window of reality. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it was 20 laps, I might hang out there. And
Craven stays out.
Everybody else comes in. That's a lonely feeling.
Yeah, boys, I don't feel good about that.
Dick?
Well, he's going to come in. He's just going to take 4 tires. No adjustments in this car. It's not so long ago that they were in here. This crew now has simply got to perform flawlessly. If they do that, they've got a great shot to win this race. Best shot their driver has ever had. So far, so good. This has been a real team effort with a good crew, good driver, good car, good crew chief.
Bobby Labonte's service is already done. He beats the 24 off pit road. 1 adjustment. pressure in the right rear.
Kenseth leads them down the end of pit road, but Rusty Wallace got out of the pit second. Then Marlin and Labonte and Ricky Craven. If he was the only driver on the lead lap not to pit, he's going to be the fella in the Bermuda shorts when everybody else is in the tuxedos. We'll see when we come back. This is NASCAR on Fox. Ricky Craven is about to take this restart as the leaders, but all the cars right behind him have 4 fresh tires.
Boy, if he just doesn't have any help. I mean, there's nobody, everybody's got tires around him. He's a sitting duck.
And he had about 14 laps on those tires. And, you know, maybe the stopwatch had not fallen off that much, but, Darrell, fresh tires just allow you to maneuver the car, move around in traffic, drive it to the bottom, drive it to the top.
Yeah, and, of course, what's happening right now is you got lap cars all around you with new tires, and here comes Kenseth up on the outside. And
look at Kenseth all the way up against the wall. He ran out of racetrack in 3 and 4.
He got it up against the wall. He was trying a little too hard.
3 wide for second place.
Rusty Wallace in the middle in the 2 car.
Here's what they know, folks.
And look at Sterling. He took advantage on the bottom of the racetrack right there.
Now, this is when you say, hey, maybe those 4 old tires aren't too bad because these guys are going to wreck each other.
As Kenseth and Wallace got together, Marlin took the low groove to the high road.
This is why I love Winston Cup racing. It's unpredictable. Ricky Craven's got to get up on that wheel. He's got to stay off they got to stay off that radio and let him focus. Don't talk to me right now. Just tell me how many laps there is to go. And go, Steve.
DW, let's talk to Mike Bean. Mike, tell us about your decision not to pit.
Well, we got behind here on pit road. We're just going to roll the dice here a little bit. It might bite us here, but, you know, we've been coming out like 5th or 6th, so we'll see what happens here. We're pretty good on over the tires. It might bite us, but we'll see.
20 laps to go when they come back. And Marlin closing right up, still running that bottom groove, but now Labonte's coming after Marlin for second.
Right now on those fresh tires, cars biting good at the bottom. Bobby Labonte, though, to the low side, headed down the front stretch, falls back in behind Sterling, going into turn 1.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but this is exciting stuff. When you got guys that kind of on different strategies, you got a guy on old tires, you got guys on new tires.
Last year's finish was exciting. Steve Park beat Bobby Labonte by just a car length.
Got a Ford, a Dodge, and a Pontiac. Got the fastest car, get trapped back here in traffic, trying to catch back up in Kenseth.
But DW, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. And I think right now, Ricky Craven's going to be in a world of hurt.
Oh, once they get by him, he'll fall back. He'll fall back to the clutches of probably Jeff Gordon.
First, they got to get by him. Sterling's giving it a run.
Ooh. Side by side, going into turn 1. Craven, he'll try to go to the high side right here.
Whoa, Sterling got loose. The back end got sucked around as they went down in the corner, and he's going to put the slide job on him and take the lead.
Clear all around. Nice and smooth, and you'll check out.
Sterling Marlin trying to give Dodge wins in the first 2 races of the season for the first time in the 54-year history of NASCAR.
And Kenseth is closing back in too. Bobby Labonte taking a look on the inside of Ricky Craven down into turn 1, and he'll take the position. He'll gas it and come off ahead of him. He'll put the slide job on him, come up in front of him. Down the back they go. Boogity, boogity. All right.
Rusty Wallace dropping back into the clutches of Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon.
Here comes Jeff Gordon on the bottom underneath Burton and Wallace. We got racing everywhere.
Here's another guy. He's into the picture right now. Tony Stewart, that 20 car. He's all over Ricky Craven. He wants that 4th position. He wants to get up there and race these guys.
I tell you, I like the way Bobby Labonte is able to run a little lower than everybody else. He's a lane lower. The same thing he did last year here racing against Steve Park.
And let's see now. Who picked Labonte?
I don't want to even talk about it.
I believe that was Terry Labonte you picked.
Get out of here.
Labonte, the fastest speed last lap by.
Imagine that. Come on, buddy.
15 to go.
Right here. Drive under. Gas it.
Here we go. Sterling to the top side. Gets a good bite, though, off the corner. Able to keep those RPMs up on the high side.
He run with you. He cannot run with you.
And they're telling him he can't run. Well, how come he's knocking my bumper off in?
Well, look who's the fastest, guys. 14 laps to go. Matt Kenseth in that 17 car.
Well, see, as long as they race each other, that's going to help Kenseth. Bobby is distracting Sterling, and that's slowing them both down, and Kenseth's going to slip up there, and he's got a fast car. We know that.
Just the way Sterling got the lead when the two Fords got rubbing each other.
Yep.
And it's not going to be many laps. We're going to catch 3 or 4 lap cars up there, and that's something you don't want to see either here.
Oh, you get a couple of lap cars running side by side, and they can change everything. I'm just really impressed, though, with Sterling and Bobby Labonte, how they played there, and here they are, those two dogs up there racing each other.
You know, this is going to play out all right for Ricky Craven. Mike Beam figured they would have gotten out of the pits in 5th place.
Yeah.
Right now, he's in 5th place, so it really didn't hurt him.
No, you know, they've been a little slow in the pits all day, and I think it's probably had something to do with his decision.
Here's a battle right here for 6th. Jeff Burton, he's just been quietly going forward all day long underneath Rusty Wallace for the 6th position.
Come on, boys.
Rusty don't want to give it up that easy as they head down the backstretch side by side to turn 3. Ever since that last restart, Rusty's car has not been what it was, I think, a little bit earlier in the race.
Well, you know, Rusty has a tendency sometimes to make adjustments there for the final 10 or 20 laps, and saw him do it at Richmond last year. I hope that isn't what happened, but he knows that he does that sometimes.
Back up front, where Bobby Labonte is all over Sterling Marlin, and it'll be 10 to go this time.
The one that the guy that's going to be the spoiler in this whole thing is Sterling probably end up being the beneficiary of it is when Matt Kenseth gets up there and gets up under Bobby Labonte. Because he is creeping into the picture.
Right now, those top 3 cars, though, Marlin, Labonte, and Kenseth, lap times identical that last lap.
Jeff Green may have dropped a cylinder. He has fallen to 12th. 3 cars out of the race with engine trouble. Last year in this race, 1 car departed with engine failure.
But the one engine rule has not had any effect whatsoever on this race. We always have a couple of engine failures every time you come here, you know, so that's just been normal.
Pit crews have done their job. It's in the hands of the drivers now.
Oh, trouble down here in turn 1, guys. 31 car went around.
Robbie Gordon.
This could be the race for the win right here, back to the flag.
Come on.
No caution yet.
No flag. Yet. He's well down on the apron, Darrell, and he's going to get away. We're going to stay green.
Oh, boy. I bet that surprised a lot of people.
Smoke from Schrader, turn 4. Lots of smoke out of the M&M Pontiac.
He's hit the wall. Boy, these guys are dodging bullets everywhere.
Still no caution. Schrader's going to go straight to the garage.
Yep. Smoke out from underneath that car.
Make that 4 engines, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe we spoke too soon.
Here comes Kenseth. Put the left wheels almost down on the flat that time.
Come on, he's right down there where he's been good. This is off turn 2 down the backstretch. Got lap cars in front of him. It's going to get exciting, guys.
Here we go. He's good down on the bottom side here. He has been all day. He gets a great run through here. He comes off, and he should be able to come up in front of Sterling.
And he will.
And he does.
Come up on Harvick and then Benson. 6 to go.
And I think Bobby Labonte has said, okay, guys, y'all fight it out.
Kenseth's taken off.
And passing a car,
got
he was 3/10 of a
We got debris all over the front straightaway here. Got a big old hunk of tire laying down here in the racetrack. We got to have a caution.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Got to come around with 5 to go.
I think Sterling.
Come right through the. There you go.
Sterling was wobbling off at turn 4 there like he had a problem.
Steve?
Well, guys, we heard Sterling Marlin radio in. He said there's oil on the track. I got into something. That's what he's saying happened to that 40 Dodge.
I don't know if he hit anything or not, but he sure was bobbing and weaving off of turn 4 there.
Not sure who lost that piece of tire.
The 31 car.
I believe so.
Now, here's the real strategy, guys. We have 5 laps to go. Will NASCAR stay consistent and red flag this race where we can have a green flag finish? That's where the strategy comes.
I don't think they will, because this is just picking up a little debris down here. We should be back to green in about a lap or so.
Well, last week there was a late caution that required a lot of cleanup, and the race was red flagged in its closing 10 laps.
This was a big chunk of rubber that came off of the 31 car. I think they get that picked up. We'll be able to go back green here pretty quick.
Let's look at Robbie Gordon here.
Just tried real hard here late in the race. I think he and Jimmy Johnson have had a little something going all day. Jimmy Johnson may end up being the winner in that battle.
Well,
Bobby was down there pretty low when that happened.
Come on now, get it straightened out. Nobody's up to you. Come on.
10th caution ties the record for a 400-mile race here.
Across the line here, caution flag is still out, 3 laps to go.
Well, you know, we could have a restart here like we did at Daytona. Sterling is sitting there in second place again, like he was at Daytona behind Jeff Gordon.
Well, they would have to give 1 to go next time by, but they have not had time yet to open pit road, so the cars could make stops.
It's got to be 1 to go this time.
So that's why the race has not been red flagged.
Safety truck down here in 3 and 4 picking up what little debris there is. That's mostly just rubber from that tire. That's what the big chunk was down here. It was about 3/4 of a Goodyear tire.
A lot of smoke now from Jeff Green's car, slowing down under caution. His car smoking quite a bit.
No indication from the flagman that he's going to go for the green flag. He's talking on his radio here. Let's see what he's going to do.
There's Matt Kenseth's wife, Katie. We'll see if she'll go to victory lane. If they give 1 to go, we could race 1 lap. Cleanup truck is still in turn 4, and there is no indication of a lap to go before we go green, so it appears this race will end under caution.
Yeah, I think it will. White flag next time by, so you know you can't get 1 to go in the middle of. You can't restart them without warning.
It had to come right then.
Yeah.
So next time by will be the white flag. Now they've pitted Elliott Sadler and put tires on his car.
Maybe they think this is still a 500-mile race.
I believe if I was Wood Brothers, I'd be out there stopping him, taking them back off.
I would too. Please don't knock those stickers off.
Well, he was at the tail end of being, I believe, 2 laps down, so had little to lose.
He thought if they got it, but if it went back green, it might, get him a spot or 2, I guess. But this isn't going to go back green because we're going to get the white this next time by. They're still picking up trash everywhere. That tire came apart and started knocking the rear quarter panel off that 31 car, and he just drug that all the way around the racetrack.
NASCAR has asked for Robbie Gordon, his crew chief and owner, to come to the NASCAR trailer when this race is concluded. Talk about all of that.
I think he and Jimmy Johnson have had a little love affair going on all afternoon.
I think it was just continuing down there in turn 3 and 4 under caution.
White flag waves with the caution. Well, he ran 160 miles an hour most of the day, but today, right now at about 55 or so, he's going to make that final lap, and then Matt Kenseth will go to victory lane for the 2nd time in his Winston Cup career.
And he has had an awesome car. He did a great job. And those guys there are the ones that need to get a pat on the back because he has had incredible pit stops in and out all day long first.
It is awesome. I mean, we're going to get the finish on this thing. Guys act like real champions today. What a great job over the wall. Great job driving today, Matt and Mike. Awesome. Everybody that worked on this thing, great job.
That's great Robbie Reiser.
Good job, Matt. We're really proud of you, bud. You hung tough there and you went back and you had to take it back when they took it from you, bud. That's wonderful.
And that's car owner Jack Roush.
Cat in the hat.
I mean, they had a great race car today, great pit stops. Matt done a great job.
I thought we were done.
This has been a great place for 2nd victories. It's Kenseth's 2nd career victory. Last November, Joe Nemechek got his 2nd career victory here. And last spring, Steve Park got his 2nd career Winston Cup win here.
Craven stayed out on his old tires and finished 5th. Probably is
right about where they thought they'd be.
What they thought they'd do. So that turned out all right, too.
Checkered flag in the air. Matt Kenseth for Jack Roush and Ford scores his 2nd career Winston Cup win. Sterling Marlin, the runner-up. Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, Ricky Craven, the first 5.
And that caution had no effect on the race whatsoever because Kenseth had to race 1. So
the best car won the race.
The best car won the race. I think that's probably the way everybody looked at it.
Jeff Burton 6th. Jeff Gordon, an up, down, up, down, up day. 7th. Rusty Wallace 8th. Bobby Hamilton 9th, Kenny Wallace 10th.
Good run for Kenny Wallace. Hung there around the top
Kurt
10
Busch
all day.
fought back to finish 13th too, bud. Or 12th, actually.
Yep, behind Kenny and Bill Elliott.
And Ward's bounced off the wall all day and finished 13th.
For bouncing off the wall, 13th's not bad.
That's lucky 13th.
Still go.
Ryan Newman, highest finishing rookie, 14th. John Andretti, 15th. Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Green, and Kevin Harvick finished on the lead lap.
And Spence was for a 20th, the first car lap down. And the way his day started off, I'd have never believed that.
So welcome to our Subway post-race show. As Matt Kenseth makes his way around toward victory lane. Give you a look at the order finish today, and he spins it through the grass. All right.
I like that. Now he knows how to do burnouts.
Now, I said earlier, Kenseth from Wisconsin, great short tracker. Probably did a little dirt tracking in his days.
Oh, yeah. I love that slide.
I don't believe he's quite done yet. I believe there's more to come. Stay tuned.
He is the 8th different winner in the last 8 races here at the Rock.
Back it down there, bud. You got cars everywhere. Let's bring her on down here and get you a cool drink of water. Tell them how you did it.
Ford, Dodge, 2 Pontiacs, and a Ford, the top 5. Then 2 Fords and 3 Chevys in the top 10.
But Jeff Gordon coming from the back twice. Started back there at the beginning of the race, made his way to the front, had the situation on pit road, spinning out, comes back to finish 7th.
All these are lead lap cars. Ryan Newman, the highest rookie in the race there, in 14th. Jimmy Spencer, the first car 1 lap down. Mark Martin got a lap down early, held on for 21st. Johnny Benson. 37 cars were running at the conclusion.
Dale Jarrett in that 88 car. Seemed like he had the dominant car. Engine expires, out for the day.
With the runner-up, Steve Burns.
Sterling Marlin, great run today, but man, you almost put her in the wall.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I guess 31 car wrecked again at the end and got another wild finish here, but got in the oil like got in the fence, and Matt got by us. You know, Matt drove a real good race all day. He run good. The Coors Light Dodge is great on long runs, and thought we had them where we need them, and just come a little short. Can't understand the red flag situation, but cost us last week, and what have we done today.
All right, thanks, Sterling. Let's go back upstairs.
Sterling talking about the fact that last week's race got a red flag and then a quick restart. Today, because of the circumstances of the caution, there was not a red flag.
Just not enough laps to go here. You had 5 to go at Daytona, and here you only had 3, so there's no way to get the mess cleaned up. I don't think that's really a big factor today. I can feel his pain. I know how he feels, but nonetheless, I think it turned out for the best. Now that's a happy crowd right there.
Let's go to our Subway winner's circle, Dick Berggren.
And it surely was a team. Oh, go ahead, Katie. Give him a big kiss. Matt Kenseth in victory lane. Jack, don't you give him a kiss now. Such a strong day. Was that a matter of pit crew, engine, chassis, driver? What was most important?
Well, everything's important here at the Rock. The handling really goes away here, and the most important are the guys behind me. When I got out behind, I had a real hard time passing cars, and they got me out in front every time. So I'm real happy for the DeWalt team. Got to thank DeWalt for their support, and AT&T and Ford Motor Company and Kraft Foods. And
how about that last restart where you got 3 wide and drifted back? Did you think it was all over, Matt?
Well, I really did. That last set of tires I pushed really bad on, and when I got behind cars, I had trouble passing them, and it was a miracle. We came off turn 4, and the 40 and 18 were just about stopped, and I was still on the floorboard and got lucky and got by them. So it just everything went our way.
Well, congratulations to you. We're going to go to Matt with Bobby Labonte.
And Dick, Bobby Labonte is debriefing with Jimmy Makar's crew chief, talking about his day. And Bob, what a way to rebound from Daytona. 34th there, a 3rd at the Rock.
Yeah, these guys did a great job all day on the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. We didn't start off the day all that good. We were really loose up off the corner, tight in the center. I mean, really wicked. And I figured a few times there I was about done for, wrecked a few times, and they just kept working on it, fixed it up a little bit, and got us a lot better towards the end of the day, about halfway on. And they fought back, and we did everything we could on the racetrack, and they did everything they could do in the pits, and they did a great job, and we finished 3rd.
Bobby Labonte scores his third. Let's go to Jeannie. Jeannie?
Well, Matt, late pit stop under caution, and Ricky Craven doesn't take tires, and everyone thought that was going to be the story here.
Well, we thought it was. I mean, it was a great gamble. It was worth the gamble. A great effort by this team, and really a lot of fun racing with them. We put it on the line, and we lost today, but we showed some strength early, and this Tide Ford would run out front. When we lost that track position, it was hard to get it back, and we used up some tires getting it back and just ran out of laps. I really believe we could go door-to-door over the 17 if we were in the right circumstances, and next week we might be.
There you go, getting used to that 5th spot here at Rockingham. His 5th top 5 finish in 15 starts. That's enough 5s for me. Chris?
All right, thank you very much, Jeannie. And the old fender bender there, Sterling Marlin, after 2 of 38 Winston Cup races, is our current points leader.
When you look at Kurt Busch, a rookie a year ago, now he's 3rd in the points right now in the Jack Roush Ford.
Rusty Wallace rounding out the top 10. Of course, a good run here at the Rock after having won 5 times, the most of any active driver. And a terrific story here. Matt Kenseth, who began racing at age 16. His father, who was involved in racing, told him, they made a deal with him at the age of 13. He said, I'll buy the race car and I'll drive it if you work on it. And ever since then, the love of racing for Matt Kenseth, and it proves out here with his 2nd Winston Cup victory.
He sure does. He's a very talented individual, and it's been a great, I guess you might say, comeback, because he finished 33rd at Daytona. He was the only Roush car that didn't finish in the top 10 down there, and with being strong, he got caught up in the last part of the race wreck. Comes back today, wins, puts his crew right back on track for the Winston Cup Point Championship.
All right, next week, Viva Las Vegas as Friday. Winston Cup qualifying on Fox Sports Net at 5 o'clock Eastern. And then Saturday, the Busch Series, followed by the final Winston Cup practice. And then on Sunday, NASCAR This Morning on Fox Sports Net at 10 Eastern. And then the Chrysler 400 NASCAR Victory Lane on Fox Sports Net wraps it up. Jeff Gordon, by the way, the defending champ in Vegas, and UPS delivers a chance to win 4 tickets to next year's Daytona 500. Log on to foxsports.com to enter. So Matt Kenseth, former Rookie of the Year with his 2nd Winston Cup victory. 7 leaders, 17 changes, 10 cautions, 57 caution laps. 5 cars knocked out of the race, among those Dale Jarrett. Of course, Ricky Rudd, who led for a while, along with Jarrett, having some engine problems. But it was a terrific race for the 2nd race of the year under crisp, cool, sunny skies. The Rock proved tough. A track record, 10 cautions, or at least a track tying record, 10 cautions for a 400-mile race here in Rockingham. There were scraped walls, there were blown engines. This race ending under caution. Plenty of frustration as the fans enjoyed every moment of it, the drivers trying to deal with it. But Matt Kenseth was toughest at the Rock in his DeWalt Ford. Next week, it's on to Las Vegas to see who can come out on top there. For all of us here, thanks for watching NASCAR on Fox.